stat sheet. And when you have all those guys clicking for Oklahoma City, they're tough to beat. Then you couple that with struggles for Doncic shooting the ball. Luka did have a triple-double, 18 points, 12 rebounds, 10 assists, but he was 6 of 20 from the field. He's certainly laboring. He's not 100%, but still. Less than 100% and a banged-up Luka Doncic still gets you a triple-double. Kyrie Irving was held to 9. Just 11 shots. He hit 4 of 11. So you got that combination of Irving and Doncic, and it's only 27 total points. That's trouble. That's not enough offense. P.J. Washington did go for 21 and 12 rebounds. He was 5 of 11 from 3. He was big. They got a solid performance from Derek Jones Jr., who went for 17. Gafford got him 10 and 8 rebounds. But Irving and Doncic are the key. And in the end, they couldn't get the stops. And Oklahoma City got the win. So that series is now 2-2. As we talked about, Eli, myself, Zach, that we figured that series was going to go possibly the distance. It was going to go deep. It was at least 6, and we know now it's going to be at least 6. Good chance it'll be 7. But the Thunder steal back home court advantage, which they lost earlier in the series, and now they go back to Oklahoma City, and that'll be tomorrow night for game number 5. Oklahoma City already installed as a 4.5-point favorite tomorrow night. Boston, by the way, a 15.5-point favorite at home tomorrow night against Cleveland to wrap up the series. In the meantime, tonight, Indiana at New York. That series is tied at 2, and it's already been announced that OG Anunoby is officially out again, and that's going to be trouble for the Knicks. And Minnesota and Denver, just a strange series that's tied at 2. Minnesota winning 2 in Denver. Denver coming back winning 2 in Minneapolis. Denver a 4.5-point favorite to take a 3-2 series lead. Knicks, by the way, even without Anunoby, are a 2.5-point favorite over the Indiana Pacers. Folks, Smoke Slam, the world's ultimate barbecue showdown, is coming to Tom Lee Park on the river in downtown Memphis, May 16th through the 18th. We're putting the festival back in barbecue. More than 50 teams competing for the largest cash purse in barbecue history, plus great music. The Barquet, St. Paul and the Broken Bones, War, Tone Loc, Rob Bass, Young MC, just to name a few. A fan-first experience like no other. Celebrity Chef Live cooking demos. You can indulge in mouth-watering barbecue samples from the greatest pitmasters in the country. And that's the key, isn't it? For all those years walking around Barbecue Fest, if you didn't know anybody with a team, you weren't eating that great barbecue. You're getting a Pronto pup, for goodness sakes. Well, now you can indulge in those samples from the best pitmasters in the country. Fireworks every night, carnival atmosphere with a Ferris wheel, carousel, games for the kids. Single-day general admission tickets, just $25, and a 3-day pass. Good deal, $65 for the 3-day pass. To purchase tickets, to get more information, go to smokeslam.com. Smokeslam, the world's ultimate barbecue showdown, May 16th through the 18th at Tom Lee Park on the river in downtown Memphis. We'll take a timeout. You're tuned in to Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Broadcasting from the Family Leisure Studio, we are Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Are you aware? It's patio season. Family Leisure sure is. That's why they have factory direct pricing on swimming pools, spas, and even, yes, patio furniture. Yes, sir, it's indeed patio season. So come by Family Leisure and check out all the brand new 2024 patio furniture sets. And with patio season here, you know that pool season will be here before you even know it. So buy now to get in line for your pool installation and get preseason pricing. Plus, you could save $1,000, $2,000, $3,000, even up to $5,000 on all spas and swim spas. Family Leisure has got special pricing on all in-stock saunas, theater seating, pool tables, and even outdoor kitchens. I love it when it's patio season because of all the fantastic deals that Family Leisure makes available just for you. Family Leisure, Whitten Road at I-40, where family and fun come together.
Brian Elder's Roofing Solutions. It's silly season in the life of your roof. I'm Brian Elder, 867-0303. The weather can be unpredictable, and I'm ready to get more life out of your roof with our award-winning Owens Corning repair team. We're the repair guys the other repair guys call when they can't find the problem. Leaks become black mold when ignored. That's why when you call me, I start my inspection in the attic. Is it time for a beautiful new roof? 867-0303. I'll measure your roof from outer space and get you an estimate right over the phone. The best warranty in the business, including a warranty against ice dams. The only roofer in Memphis to offer a warranty against water intrusion due to snow buildup. Ask about military and first responder discounts. 901-867-0303 or BrianElderRoofing.com.
Call 867-0303. Brian Elder's Roofing Solutions.
Hey, Mid-South, I've got Marty McNay getting back to the past on these prices at Gossett Volkswagen Germantown.
This is heavy, Doc. I mean, Randy. Let's go with 42 MPG Highway and a 2024 Volkswagen Jetta SE for $249 a month. Or take your pick from a 2024 Tiguan S or 2024 Taos SE for only $279.28 a month.
Great Scott, McNate! You got it going on at Gossett Volkswagen Germantown on Winchester Road. Let me hit those deals again. 2024 Volkswagen Jetta SE, $249 a month, or take your pick. 2024 Tiguan S or Taos SE, $279.28 a month.
Your future is whatever you make of it, Randy, so let us help you make your future down here at Gossett Volkswagen Germantown, 7420 Winchester Road, or shop online at GossettVWG.com.
All 36 monthly, 7,500 miles per year, 20 cents excess mileage. Jetta number RMO 46526, MSRP 26,996. Tiguan RM 103,910, MSRP 31,363. Taos RM 00174, MSRP 31,414. Includes all credit and incentives. PF 695. Excludes DTNL. See dealer for complete details. With approved credit dealer stock only. Offer expires into the month.
Check engine light on? Take the guesswork out of your check engine light with O'Reilly Veriscan. It's free. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan today.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Listen each and every Sunday morning at 10 a.m. and join Ottawild Presbyterian Church for worship. Ottawild is a PCUSA church located in Midtown Memphis.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good morning. It's been pretty slow go for the last hour and a half on 40 eastbound, leaving Shelby County into Fayette County. On the earlier crash we had out there, again, the heaviest flow of traffic right now is coming inbound on 40 west from Fayette County into Shelby. Traffic's on the increase up through South Haven on 55 going northbound. Hey, 24/7 reliable crane and rigging services right here in the Memphis area. Tomahawk Crane and Rigging. Check them out. TomahawkCrane.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Now back to Sports 56 mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour brought to you by the Big Green Egg. Here once again are Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
You know that I can go somebody.
Welcome back, everybody. 7:32. Hour number one here on Sports 56 mornings. Again, we're back and everything's fine as far as our technical difficulties. Greg Gaston, Zach Boyd, producing as he always does. Eli off again today. He'll be back on Thursday. Coming up in hour number two, we're going to talk plenty about the Grizzlies and the possibilities this summer. Should be very interesting. Sean Coleman will join us at 8:25 or thereabouts. Jeff Crane, University of Memphis interim athletics director, joins us each and every week. At 9:05, we'll talk some golf with Mickey Barker. Our weekly segment with Mickey and Friends, golf administrator for the city of Memphis. And since it's such a big week in golf, Steve Sands is going to join us. He always joins us for the majors, the PGA Championship this week at Valhalla in Louisville, Kentucky. Beautiful golf course. It's the PGA Championship, and Steve will join us at about 9:30. We can take your calls and texts on the Sissy's Log Cabin listener lines at 901-360-8255. The Grizzlies making some news yesterday, according to, forget who had that report first. I think it was Drew Hill from the Daily Memphian, who joined us yesterday from the NBA Combine. The Grizzlies are adding an assistant coach, but he'll be the head of development. His name is Noah LaRoche. Has operated his own player development program, for the last several years. And now he'll go and become a member of this organization, the Grizzlies. Noah LaRoche. There's still the rumors out there that there's going to be more movement within the coaching staff. I think Mark Stein had originally reported that. I saw it again yesterday. We haven't heard of anybody's departure, but it is expected. And Eli said that the other day as well. So that's something to keep an eye on. But the Grizzlies do add one member to the coaching staff, Noah LaRoche, according to reports. So the NBA Combine underway. And as you know from the results Sunday and Monday at the G League Combine, that you had Naquan Tomlin from the University of Memphis and former Memphis Tiger Boogie Ellis, 2 of the 5 players who were elevated to be a part of the regular combine, the NBA Combine, which is fantastic. You couple those 2 with David Jones, and there's that Memphis flair in Chicago. Well, measurements was the story of the day yesterday, and then the players went out and started to get involved in different shooting skills and shooting skills, I guess it would be, and passing skills and things of that nature. And David Jones was interesting. His official measurement is 6'3.5" without shoes. Now, I don't know how Memphis measures him, but he's listed at 6'6" for the University of Memphis. And I know you play with shoes on. You don't have to remind me. But he's listed at 6'3.5", which is a lot shorter than I thought he was. Bronny James listed at just over 6'1", and he was listed, I think, at 6'3", with the USC bios. You had several players, actually, that were shorter than they were listed. But again, the whole shoes, no shoes thing, when it's a 3.5-inch difference or 2.5-inch difference, whatever the case may be, you're not wearing high platform shoes here. So it shouldn't be that much of a difference, right? So therefore, they've kind of exaggerated the numbers a little bit. And for some, that's extremely important. For others, not so much. I'm talking about teams. So Bronny James actually, in his three-point shooting, looked good. Looked good off the dribble, shooting the three. Standstill threes. Looked good. Again, he's going to be an interesting cat. He'll speak to the media, as I mentioned earlier, tonight. Dalton Knecht from Tennessee had a 39-inch vertical. I don't think that's surprising that he can get up there. He showcased that at Tennessee, getting to the hole, exploding. Also, very solid shooter from the outside. Reed Sheppard was one of the players, according to reports, that stole the show. And Reed Sheppard is a guy who's very much in play for Memphis at 9, but I think if he continues to have a great week, and this isn't the end-all, be-all, it's everything combined, what they have done in their careers, collegiately or internationally, combined with what they do this week, the interviews, everything comes into play. But Sheppard tied for the highest max vertical at 42 inches. Just mentioned Dalton Knecht's 39-inch vertical. Very good. Reed Sheppard, 42. So, a guy who's only 6'2", but on his jump shot can get up there. I was worried about whether or not he could create his own shots. Well, he may be able to leap over other guys and take that jump shot. So he's a very intriguing character because he is one of the best, if not the best, three-point shooters available. You had, speaking of three-point shooting, Alex Caravan from the two-time defending champion Connecticut Huskies hit 14 straight three-pointers during one of the tests. He made 21 of 25 overall. He also was tops in off-the-dribble shooting. And to me, that's extremely important. Although in the NBA, you watch now how they pass the ball so accurately and so efficiently when it goes around the horn, most of the time, guys get open threes. Can you knock down that three consistently? But off the dribble, creating your own three, creating your own shot is extremely important. So Alex Caravan had himself a nice evening. Now, yesterday, everybody and their mom around here talked about the Grizzlies being picking ninth in the June draft. And a lot of people talked about what Zach Kleiman has talked about in the past. That who knows with this draft pick. They could trade this draft pick. And I think that's likely that it could happen. But it all depends on, obviously, what happens in front of him. I think if there's going to be a trade, I don't expect any trade to come before draft night. Could it? Yes. But I would think it would come on draft night because that's where you see what's going on in front of you. You don't know right now. It's all smoke and mirrors. It's the liar season. So you don't know what other teams are going to do. But then when you see it unfolding in front of you, then you look and go, wait a minute, I can jump up and get this guy. Or I think I could stay put and get this guy. Or I'm not going to be able to get my guy, so maybe I trade out of that 9 spot. Comes down to, what do you want to do with Luke Kennard with that team option of nearly $15 million? Are there other trade possibilities out there that tickle your fancy? So many possibilities for the Grizzlies, and that's why I think it makes it extremely intriguing this offseason. Now, another conversation yesterday was about Ron Holland, was about Stefan Castle, guys that could be available at 9. Here's the one thing. This is just my opinion. Do not draft a 6'2", promising 18-year-old guard. They don't need that right now. They don't need a guy that's not going to contribute at all. Yeah, maybe down the road Castle becomes a really good player. I wouldn't waste my pick on that. And as far as wings are concerned, like a Ron Holland, who ended up getting hurt, although he was the top scorer in the G League, was it Knight, Zach, that he played for? He averaged 19 points per game. He got hurt at the end of the season, didn't finish out the season. 6'8", good size. But how many of those 6'8" wings are the Grizzlies going to have? And when Vince Williams stepped up the way he did, and G.G. Jackson stepped up the way he did, I don't know why you go for that. Again, unless a player is that much better with potential than the rest of them, then we're going for overall talent versus need. But I don't know, once you get past the first couple, if there's that much of a difference in a lot of these guys, despite them playing different positions. If one guy you have on your board that really, really stands out and he's available, and you have a plethora of those players at that position, okay, I get it, I understand, but I don't think there's going to be that player. So then you got to look at need. Where's the need? Shooting, especially if Kennard doesn't come back. Absolutely. But even if Kennard comes back, you have Bane, you have Kennard. You don't have a ton of other shooters. So that's nice to have in your back pocket. And, of course, the big, which they have to figure out. Or bigs. Could be multiple. Could get one through free agency or a trade, a veteran big, which I think they probably will go down that road. But I still believe if Klingen's there at 9, you grab him, say thank you very much, and move on. I don't believe he'll be there at 9. I just don't think he'll be there at 9. So if you want to give us your thoughts, 360-8255, Sissy's Log Cabin, just text them in. We'll talk about that when we return. And then coming up at 8:05, as I mentioned, Sean Coleman will join us. We'll get his thoughts on what he thinks is possible for the Grizzlies. Pinnacle Roofing and Restoration for all your roofing and home repair needs. Call Brandon McCullough at 901-438-5084 or go online to newroofmemphis.com. They offer financing with different plans and options to choose from. including a 6, 12, or 18-month same as cash option. They'll work with your insurance company or out of pocket, whatever it takes to get that new roof or that roof fixed. They're part of the Roofs for Troops program. Any veteran, active, or retired get a $250 rebate on the purchase of a new roof. Pinnacle does both residential and commercial roofing, so business owners and property managers along with homeowners. If you have a leak or any other problem, call Brandon today. They'll come out and do a free roof inspection. They're licensed, bonded, and insured, and a member of the Better Business Bureau. Don't forget about the $100 referral fee for all new roofs. You get a 5-year labor warranty on the purchase of a new roof, and all their work, satisfaction guaranteed. They do carpentry work, exterior painting. They can replace gutters, put up fencing, siding, rotten wood repair. They can install shingles. Whatever you can't do yourself, call the experts at Pinnacle Roofing and Restoration. Quality work at a very reasonable price. And again, locally owned and operated. Call Pinnacle, call Brandon, 901-438-5084, or go online to newroofmemphis.com. We're coming back with our final segment here in hour number 1. This is Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Be sure to follow us at Sports 56 WHBQ on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube to watch live video of our shows, stay up to date with station events, and have chances to win prizes. Don't miss out on anything that's going on. Follow us at Sports 56 WHBQ.
You or someone you know or care about has dealt with a difficult divorce. When facing divorce, you need the attorneys at Rice Law. Nick and Larry Rice lead the firm with 3 generations and 7 decades of experience. Located in Memphis, serving the entire state of Tennessee and North Mississippi. Rice Law is who you need to call. Simple or difficult divorce, they know how to handle it. Call Rice Law at 901-526-6701, or for more information, visit them at aboutdivorce.com. That's aboutdivorce.com.
Welcome to the Rendezvous.
This is John Vergas. When my dad started the Rendezvous in 1948, I don't think anyone could have imagined we'd still be serving shoulder, cheese plates, and our world-famous dry rub ribs 75 years later. But we are still here in the basement, in an alley in downtown Memphis. We sincerely thank you for making the Rendezvous what it is today. Charlie Vergas Rendezvous. A legendary experience for over 75 years, whether you dine in, pick up, or ship across the country.
I'm Gary York. I'm the service director at Lexus of Memphis. Our service department wants to be more than just a place where you get your oil changed. We do glass repair, windshield replacement, recalibration of your camera and sonar systems, even wheel repair, tire replacement, all the things you would expect from a luxury automotive dealer. Please check out our website. You can schedule your appointment, check out our specials, hours of operation, or if you'd like to do it in person, please reach out to one of our associates at 901-271-5199.
Get 5 quarts of O'Reilly Full Synthetic Motor Oil and a MicroGuard oil filter for $31.99 at O'Reilly Auto Parts. In-store only. Limit supply.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Now back to Sports 56 Mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour brought to you by the Big Green Egg. Here once again are Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Welcome back, everyone. 7:48 the time. Hour 1 here on Sports 56 Mornings. Greg Gaston, Zach Boyd. Eli off today. He'll return to the show on Thursday. We've been talking a lot about the NBA Combine, the NBA playoffs as well. NFL news yesterday. And of course, there's also NFL news this morning. That is the schedule. It is a nice slow roll by the National Football League, by just little bits and pieces of the schedule coming out. Yesterday, they announced the Thursday night opener with the defending champion Chiefs and the Baltimore Ravens. Now they've announced some other games, including a September 9th Jets-49ers game. Big picture of Aaron Rodgers and Brock Purdy. Let's hope that Rodgers, for the sake of all the Jets fans, but also for the sake of Aaron Rodgers, that he's going to be able to play more than 4 plays in 2024. They also announced earlier that week number 2 will feature the Bengals and the Chiefs once again. Pat Mahomes and Joe Burrow, that's become a terrific rivalry, and that was announced. Also, Tom Brady in the Fox broadcast booth. His first game will be the Cowboys and the Browns. So Tom Brady getting ready for his broadcasting career. In the meantime, Jared Goff, the Lions quarterback, according to reports, is inking a 4-year, $212 million extension with $170 million guaranteed. Now, some of you are going to say, that's too much. Jared Goff? Let me remind you what Jared Goff has done. Jared Goff took the Rams to a Super Bowl. Jared Goff has been indispensable for the Lions in their resurgence. He's worth the money because that's the going rate with quarterbacks. He's worth the money. But is he worth that type of money where he's the second highest paid quarterback now per average, season average, yearly average in the National Football League? Number 2. Do you know who's number 1? I just mentioned his name, Joe Burrow. Burrow is number 1. Again, this is the highest paid quarterbacks this upcoming 2024 season on a per-year basis. Burrow, Goff. Burrow at $55 million, Goff at $53 million. Number 3, Justin Herbert, $52.5 million this season. Number 4, Lamar Jackson, $52 million. It's good money. Raise your kids to be quarterbacks, ladies and gentlemen. Jalen Hurts, number 5, $51 million. You know his name I haven't mentioned? Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes will make $45 million. That's a bargain. It's weird to say that, paying anybody for any job in life $45 million and say that's a bargain, but it's a bargain. What Nick Saban was making for all those years, coach of Alabama, a bargain. Patrick Mahomes, not in the top 5. Again, he's done some things with the contract to make sure there's more money to be able to pay teammates, to get the players in, to be able to keep this train on the tracks, which is very admirable. We've seen Tom Brady do that in the past. But it is weird when you see the top 5 and Mahomes' name is not there, and he makes $10 million less than Burrow. And again, they'll meet in week number 2 this upcoming season in the National Football League. Speaking of football, locally, according to a report that was out there, Memphis native and Pure Academy grad Chris Morris is headed to play for Coach Prime at Colorado. Last season, he played at East Mississippi Community College. He was with Memphis for spring ball. He was with the Tigers. Began his career at Texas A&M, so he's bounced around a lot. But Chris Morris, again, the Pure Academy grad, will be headed to Colorado, headed to Boulder to play for Deion Sanders. So congratulations to him. Other news from the world of sports. Mike Tyson and Jake Paul had a press conference yesterday to promote their upcoming fight this summer, which has been sanctioned. And their face-off turned into smiles, a playful push, and a handshake. I don't want to see that. I know it's theatrics, the face-offs. I understand that. Being involved in boxing and MMA for as long as I have been, I understand that they're promoting the product, they're putting on a show. But you're supposed to have a little bit of bad blood. It was comical. I don't know. Jake Paul is actually a big dude. He's a big dude, but Mike Tyson's in pretty good shape for a 58-year-old. He's in pretty good shape for a 35-year-old. And we've seen the videos. Does he have still the stamina? He has the knockout power, though, right? Mike Tyson's going to knock him out, right? Am I wrong about this thing? Every time I think Jake Paul's going to lose, he ends up winning. But I'm sorry. I am going to watch this thing. I don't have to be sorry about it, but I'm watching. There's a lot of people that couldn't care less. I don't think Eli cares. I care. I want to see Tyson drill this guy. There should be no reason why I don't like Jake Paul, but I just don't like him. I guess anybody becomes YouTube stars and then is able to make millions off of that. Now he's gone out there and he's turned it into something, become pretty much his own company. So more power to him for doing that. But, he starts out as a YouTuber. So many of these people nowadays go on YouTube, try to strike it rich. This guy has made a career out of it, him and his brother. And now he'll face Iron Mike. Looking forward to that fight, no question about it. NHL playoffs, Stanley Cup playoffs last night. The Hurricanes beat the Rangers 4-1. Rangers had a 1-0 lead. Hurricanes scored 4 straight goals. And the Rangers lead in the series now down to 3-2. That was at home. That was at the Garden. So it's 3-2 Rangers going back to Carolina for Game 6. And the Dallas Stars take command in their series against Colorado. They beat the Avalanche 5-1. They now have a 3-1 lead in that series. All right, that'll do it for the first hour. Coming up in hour number 2, we'll be busy. Sean Coleman on the Grizzlies and the possibilities of what they may do with that number 9 overall pick. Jeff Crane at 8:25, University of Memphis interim athletics director, and then plenty of golf talk in hour number 3. You're tuned in to Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
This is the month when Memphians and visitors spend a lot of time downtown. And when you're surrounded by all the Memphis inmate chaos and desperately need to find some peace and quiet, steer yourself to Barbaro Alley and Bell Tavern, Memphis's perfect downtown neighborhood bar. At Bell Tavern, you'll find cool air, low lights, and the best cocktails you'll find anywhere in town, not just downtown. Spend a little time cooling your heels and everything else, and watch the parade pass by at Bell Tavern, your Memphis in May headquarters.
Hi, folks. Bob Burkheimer for Sunrise Buick GMC Truck. Thinking about a new or used car truck and not sure where to get the most for your money? Listen to what Sunrise has to offer. Over 800 new Buicks and GMCs to choose from with factory rebates up to $6,500 and a $15 million used car inventory specializing in vehicles under $15,000. Bad credit, bankrupt, slow pay, it's okay. At Sunrise, we specialize in secondary financing, and Sunrise wants to get you approved. The #1 volume Buick GMC dealer in the Mid-South and the home of the guaranteed credit approval. Sunrise, Covington Pike, Wolf Chase, and 385 at Houston, Levy, and Collierville.
Without the ones like you, who work tirelessly to keep things running, everything would suddenly stop. Hospitals, factories, schools, and power plants, they all depend on you. No matter the weather, emergency, or time of day, you're the ones who get it done. At Grainger, we're here for you with professional-grade industrial supplies. Count on real-time product availability and fast delivery. Call, clickgrainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Nestled in the heart of East Memphis, located corner of Park and Cherry, is a beautiful residential neighborhood. I'm here at Town Village Audubon Park interviewing a new resident, Carolyn. Share with us why you chose Town Village.
Well, if your parents or special friends need to make that big move, let me share with you my experience. It was tough for me to leave home, but then I discovered Town Village. I would like to highly recommend Town Village to you and your loved ones. After looking at all the amenities and meeting all the people and staff, I was hooked. From restaurant, bistro, 3 meals per day, housekeeping, transportation, security, health care, physical therapy, exercise room, and even a heated pool and spa. Come see us and make your new home at Town Village.
Visit us and call Daniel at Town Village Audubon Park at 901-374-7342. There's no place like home, Town Village.
Jenkins Floors and More invites you to their retail warehouse where they pass wholesale savings on to you. Jenkins Floors in Hernando, Little Rock, and Cleveland, Mississippi specializes in flooring and carpeting, tile, plantation shutters, and blinds. Jenkins makes your life easy with a 2-week turnaround. Contractors, builders, or family projects, call 662-469-9350 for a free estimate. Owners Timmy and Rebecca Jenkins say hello to Sports 56 fans and look forward to your business.
This traffic report brought to you by Appliance Liquidators with low prices and top-notch customer service. Appliance Liquidators, 3320 Goodman Road East in South Haven.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good morning. There's some slipping and sliding going on out here. There's just been a crash over here westbound on I-40 near Riverside Drive. That traffic's building pretty good now on 40 East coming across the Hernando de Soto Bridge over from West Memphis. It's starting to line up pretty good here, or load up here on 40 coming westbound as you come past Germantown Parkway all the way to Sycamore View Road. Weimer's Jewelry, 7525 Highway 64 is your full-service family-owned jewelry store right here in Memphis. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, and W253DF Memphis. Flynn Broadcasting Stations. Now back to Sports 56 Mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by James Gaddis Jewelers.
Don't you just love it?
Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Welcome back, everybody. 8 o'clock, straight up, hour number 2 here on Sports 56 Mornings. The Tuesday, May 14th, 2024 edition. Greg Gaston, Zach Boyd, Eli off today. Eli will return to the show on Thursday. We are in the Family Leisure Studios. Family Leisure, where family and fun come together. 2120 Whitten Road, just north of I-40. And the second hour of the program is brought to you by the great folks at James Gaddis Jewelers. And I mean great folks. These folks, the Gaddis family, have been in the jewelry business for decades, and they've been here in Memphis. They started on Summer Avenue. They have been at their current location now for over 25 years. That's at 4900 Poplar between Mendenhall and St. Nick. And you can check them out online as well, gaddisjewelers.com. You can shop 24/7, but just good people. Again, you can go to those big box stores. You know, they'll sell you something. You won't have that same one-on-one. You feel like family at Gaddis. You're not going to do that at go to those big box stores. You know what I'm talking about. But the product, the quality at James Gaddis Jewelers is second to none. So you get great service. You get a great product. You know that they're going to take care of that jewelry, whatever that piece of jewelry is, for the lifetime of that jewelry. That's what they offer at James Gaddis Jewelers. They're full-service jewelers with 2 bench jewelers ready to serve you. All their diamonds are independently graded and certified. They know there's a lot of competition, so they make sure they have a price point to suit everyone's budget. For that beautiful engagement ring, watches of all types, earrings, necklaces, pendants, vintage jewelry, one-of-a-kind estate jewelry, it's James Gaddis Jewelers, 4900 Poplar Avenue between Mendenhall and St. Nick, and on the web at gaddisjewelers.com. Well, as promised, time to continue to talk about the Grizzlies landing the number 9 spot in the draft coming up in June, as we are joined by our friend Sean Coleman. You can follow Sean on Twitter at StatsSAC. Sean, how are you, man?
Doing well. Greg, it's becoming tougher and tougher to talk to you, to be honest, because the Phillies, they are not just getting us in the playoffs anymore now. They're deciding to have the best record in baseball. So, I guess congrats on the May success. Hopefully things will change once October comes around this year.
Now you guys, you Atlanta Braves fans, you're stubborn. I mean, it's like almost you haven't noticed what's happened the last 2 years with the Phillies and the Braves.
Oh, I'm acknowledging it. That's why I'm saying it's tougher and tougher to talk to you. I love talking with you, obviously, but it just, when it comes to baseball fandom, that's why I love talking Grizzlies with you. We don't have to talk baseball.
That's right. Sean Coleman's a writer and podcaster for Bluff City Media, also with Battery Power SBN. Okay, we were a little disappointed. They dropped 2 spots to number 9. Again, the odds were more than likely that they were going to pick 8th, so they end up dropping a spot. The hope was they were going to move up. But this 9th spot, I'm having trouble with it. I've been looking at all the possibilities. I've been reading what everybody has written about it as far as locally with the Grizzlies and what they may or may not do. Nationally, what the mock drafts now look like. And my arms just go right up in the air and say, I have no idea. I don't even know right now if Zach Kleiman, Tayshaun Prince, and the rest of the powers that be with the Grizzlies organization know what they're going to do.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. And that's kind of the excitement that comes with getting, a worse than expected pick at number 9, is the fact that, you have less certainty. But a couple of things that I do feel, make the 9th pick still valuable, Greg, is that, as you mentioned, you see so many of these mock drafts, and the opinion changes drastically. For instance, take Ron Holland, who for much of the year leading up to this draft was viewed as potentially being the number 1 pick. In some mock drafts, he's number 2 to the Wizards, and others he's number 9 to the Grizzlies. But one thing that does stay consistent, in my opinion, is that while the assortment of the names, they can change quite a bit per mock draft, it's typically the same 9 names that you see in the top 9 spots. So, in my opinion, the Grizzlies will still get a pretty valuable player, one of the top players in this draft. I think after number 9, you fall off a bit. And then if you see maybe a Dalton Connect rise up into the top 10, that means it can lead to even more options to the Grizzlies to consider at number 9. So that's one thing that I take away. And number 2 is this. I think it's notable that Drew Hill, Michael Wallace, ESPN, all of which, were at the draft lottery itself, they all spotlighted the fact that the Grizzlies could look to move this pick. We all know how active Zach Kleiman is draft week, draft night. So I do think that there's a good chance that the Grizzlies may not stay at 9. They could trade up, trade back, trade out. They're going to do their due diligence. But at the end of the day, while 9 it was definitely less than ideal than what we had hoped for, I do think that the Grizzlies are going to be prepared to get the most value out of it, whether it's picking one of the better players in this draft or potentially moving around the draft board as Zach Kleiman usually does.
Yeah, I think it'll be a real active draft night. I don't foresee anything happening before the draft night because I believe if you're in the Grizzlies situation, you're going to have to see what is going on in front of you, what is happening that night, which may dictate what you want to do. There may be that player on the board that you have listed 1 or 2 that's going to be available at 9, or you feel that you better move up to 8 to get that player, or that player or that second player or that third player on your board is gone, and now you want to trade out of the 9. So that's why I don't think anything will happen before draft night.
Absolutely, and to your point, Donovan Clingan, the center from UConn, who is 7'2", who's a really good defensive, approach. I think would fit a lot of needs and obviously a big roster hole for the Grizzlies. What if he falls? What if he gets past that 6th pick or so and he's down to 7 or 8? Then the Grizzlies could move up. Say Memphis decides that hey, they see Ron Holland falling as good of an upside pick as he is. Maybe they want to stay at 9 and take him because they don't think they'll have a chance to take a player of that upside in the near future. Or perhaps you see like a Dalton Connect, like I say, go up in the top 10, and like a Rob Dillingham and or a Reed Shepherd both fall to 9. And you've got teams in the back end of the teams who want to trade up to get their point guard of the future. Maybe the Grizzlies can get an established NBA player while also keeping their first-round pick. So I think it's to your point. You're probably not going to see an actual move happen. Plenty of conversations, different, getting different scenarios in place to where once we see how the draft board falls, then they'll check in with the teams that they've already discussed scenarios with to see which one may make the most sense if they do trade the pick.
Yeah, and I don't know how impactful a player at number 9 will be the first season. I don't know. Nobody knows. This draft is wide open. And for those who say, it's a weak draft, I think that's ridiculous because you don't know. You're talking out of your butt. That's what you're doing because there's going to be players from this draft that end up being stars. It happens every single year. We go back to the Anthony Bennett draft. He was a dud at number 1. Giannis went in the teens. He's pretty good. Rudy Gobert went in the 20s. He's not bad. So they're always going to find diamonds in the rough. You have to have skill, but you also have to have a lot of luck. A lot of luck when it comes to this. Now, there's always the conversation of need versus best player available. For me, and this is just my opinion, and maybe you'll agree or disagree, if the Grizzlies don't move the pick at number 9, I think you got to go with need over best player available because I don't think there's any players except for maybe the first couple, Sarr, maybe 1 or 2, that differentiate themselves from the others. So in that case, if there's not a disparity in talent, I think you have to address need.
Absolutely, 100%. And that's why, I've kind of had, the argument, not necessarily the argument, but it's been a fun debate, with many across, Grizz Nation and things like that who, a lot of great minds, diving into, why they think one player should be over the other. Listen, Donovan Clingan, I bring up that name. The center position is probably not as valuable, especially for a team that's focused on wanting to strengthen itself as much as possible in playoff situations. Center may not be as valuable as like a wing or a combo guard, and that's perfectly fine. But for the Grizzlies, if Donovan Clingan gets down in that 9 spot, it's hard to argue many others, if any, being better players than he is. And then at that point, you're filling a need plus a skill set need. But I also use the example of the 2 Kentucky guards, Reed Sheppard and Rob Dillingham. I feel that it's an accurate statement that Rob Dillingham probably has higher upside than Reed Sheppard because of what he can do with the ball in his hands. But with the Grizzlies, how often is Rob Dillingham going to have the ball in his hands in high-leverage playoff situations when you've already got Ja, Jaren, and Bane? In that situation, you probably want to go with an efficient off-the-ball option like a Reed Sheppard who can do good things on defense. He can certainly shoot, which we know supports that core. Yes, he's a little bit undersized, but I think in terms of context of the Grizzlies, Reed Sheppard made a bit more sense than Rob Dillingham because of it. So I know a lot of people say pick best player available, and I feel that's a sound strategy, but I think especially for a team like the Grizzlies, who's already got their core established, fit and skill set need also may carry a bit more significance for them than it would your normal lottery team.
Sean Coleman joining us on the Sissy's Log Cabin guest line. I completely agree with you as far as Reed Sheppard is concerned. Talked about this earlier, had a great day yesterday. 42-inch vertical, which tied him for the highest max vertical, which is very impressive. I did not know he had that type of athleticism. Great shooter. And then there comes the question of what's going to happen with Luke Kennard. And if for whatever reason it's a team option, they decide to say sayonara to one of the top three-point shooters in the NBA, then you're certainly going to need some three-point help. And if Reed Sheppard's available at 9 and Clingan's not there, to me, that seems like the pick. But I think they're both going to be gone by 9. I think what so far Sheppard's doing at the Combine, his stock's only going to go up. And with Clingan, it's going to be interesting because the consensus is Alex Sarr goes 1, big man to Atlanta, and then a number of the other teams in front of the Grizzlies have bigs already on their roster. But it doesn't mean that they won't pick a big if they feel he's that much better than others. And then they could deal one of them. They could keep both of them. You're not going to normally play in this age of basketball the Twin Towers, but I guess it's possible. So there's all those scenarios. That's why I think with the Grizzlies and Zach Kleiman, you got to see what's kind of forming in front of you as the draft goes along in June that night, and then figure out, well, I can move up and get this guy. But they're going to have to address that big, Sean. They're going to have to address that big sooner or later.
Yeah, agreed. And I think with the fact that they have dropped to number 9, if Clingan is not there as an option. And again, I put out there on Twitter the other day, one thing that stands out is the fact that, several teams in front of the Grizzlies, again, these teams who are trying to establish their core, a lot of them in recent history have invested either money or a high draft pick in a center. So they may not necessarily need a center, number one. Number two, if they're trying to establish their core combo guards, wings, point guards probably are a bit higher positional value than a center. So that could allow for Clingan to fall. And I like the other thing I like about Clingan besides plug and play, filling needs, is the contract that he comes with. 4 years, and number 9, 4 years, I believe, just under $20 million. That's an outstanding value for what he can offer. So if Clingan's there, I think it makes a lot of sense. But the fact that we're at 9, I think also opens the possibility to, the Grizzlies may, you mentioned, the possibility of using Luke Kennard, I think they're going to keep him in some way, shape, or form, picking up the option, maybe an extension. But by keeping him, I mean that they'll take on his money. If they find the right deal, they could trade him. I don't necessarily think it's as likely as some others do. But the whole point is that if Clingan's not there, they're going to have to figure out some way to add a center to the roster. A trade probably seems to make the most sense. I don't necessarily know if that means including the number 9 pick, but if we don't wind up getting the clear center that we need through the draft, then obviously, after the draft or even draft night, trading for that type of center could certainly be a focus for the Grizzlies.
And I know you're a numbers guy. You like to crunch the numbers. You're an analytics guy. And some of this talk certainly goes over my head at times. But we're talking about the aprons now. We're talking about certainly you look at the roster as it is, and there's not a lot of spots. So I think absolutely a trade would have to happen. They also have the 2 second-round picks, so they can use that possibly as throw-ins, incentives on a trade, because there's just not enough roster spots, positions that are open right now. But as far as the numbers are concerned, you don't want to get up into that second apron.
Absolutely. And especially with the Grizzlies coming off the year that they had, you definitely want to contend next year. But the biggest thing that's going to help them out is just having better health. You don't want to sit here but even with that said, you don't want to sit here and just automatically, go into the second apron thinking that you're automatically going to be one of the best teams in the NBA. You hope that you are. You have the talent to be that. But you also have in recent history, health being the biggest reason why, you have some things that have prevented you from doing that. So the Grizzlies potentially going out and getting, just to use an example, going out to talk to Portland about getting a Jeremy Grant. I think he has 4 years, $120 million left on his contract. That probably doesn't make a whole bunch of sense. It doesn't make a lot of sense for the Grizzlies to go out and get another $30 to $35 million contract to add to their core and just go into that second apron. The Grizzlies, such as trading off the future contract of Steven Adams, they're smart for managing the finances for right now to have as much flexibility as possible. But the key thing there, Greg, is that Zach Kleiman has said before, it's not the money that necessarily is the worry when it comes to those aprons. It's the limitations or the, ways to make moves that are restricted once you get into those areas. So that's the big thing for the Grizzlies. It's not that they can afford to go all in and do what they need to do. It's the fact that they want to keep as much flexibility as possible because the strength of this front office is their creativity. And the great thing about creativity, the more options you have, the more likely it is you're going to find something that makes sense.
And then getting back to the center position, I don't think there's anything set in stone that they couldn't take a center with the 9 and then still pick up a veteran center. There's still that possibility that they could do something like that to strengthen their front line to help Jaren Jackson Jr. and Brandon Clark. They may or may not. But when I'm looking at the options in this particular draft, if they draft down, say Klingen's not available, and really that's the way they want to go. We'll never know unless Zach says it after the draft's over. But let's, for the sake of this discussion, Klingen's not available at 9. They really want a big. They will trade down into the teens somewhere. Who's next on your center list? Is it Filipowski from Duke? Is it the kid from Baylor? I mean, what are you looking at? And then where does Zach Edey fall into this order, if he falls into it at all in the teens or the early 20s of the first round?
Yeah, and in my opinion, the big thing that comes with the center position for the Grizzlies is that you need to have someone like Steven Adams was so good at doing. And I mentioned Steven Adams because, the biggest thing for me that Steven Adams did, Greg, was that through his play, screening, rebounding, passing, just doing the little things, he elevated the overall play of the big three. We talk about these on-off numbers. Well, when Steven Adams was on the court with our big three, their production was so much better than when he was off the court. I'm not expecting that out of a rookie right now. But that is something that stands out to me. Someone who's not necessarily going to have the usage that they did in college, but because they can add value outside of scoring, defense, passing, rebounding, screening, what have you, those type of guys I think are definitely valuable. So you mentioned some of those names. Filipowski, from an efficiency standpoint, he meets a lot of the statistical thresholds that the Grizzlies look for. I think if you get down to the teens and 20s, he becomes a bit of a good value, so he may be an option. Misi, Khalil Ware, those are more guys who you're probably going to need to wait on. So those would be kind of the targets you would say, hey, let's get them for now and then wait until, and then see what they can do in the future, but also get a veteran center now and kind of have a long-term approach to the center position. Another name is Deron Holmes, who's highly efficient out of Dayton. He's a bit smaller. And then Zach Edey. It's been fun talking with many across Grizz Nation about Zach Edey. I prefer Donovan Clingan and a few others to Zach Edey because, again, I put more faith in those other names adding value outside of scoring. But it's hard to deny Zach Edey is an incredible offensive talent. I think for the Grizzlies, he would be more of a bench option. But at the end of the day, when it comes to half-court offense, the Grizzlies need to figure out how to be as good as possible for 48 minutes. Even if it's in a bench role, Zach Edey could help out that offense. So, you get into the 20s that the Grizzlies like his scoring ability, like the fact that, his free throw shooting is there. I'm not going to bat an eye at getting Zach Edey. But, just some names that they trade back: Kyle Filipowski, Emisi Khalil Ware, Deron Holmes, and Zach Edey. Rank them however you want. But I do think those are some names that could make sense for them to trade back if they found the right deal.
All right, speaking of ranking, rank these 5. Again, I don't know if any of them will be available at 9, but I think maybe one of them will be. Give me, in order, your preference to Ron Holland, Dalton Knecht, Stephon Castle, Rob Dillingham, and Reed Sheppard.
Ron Holland, Reed Sheppard, Stephon Castle, Rob Dillingham, and Dalton Knecht.
Yes.
And the reason, that's my order: Holland, Sheppard, Castle, Dillingham, as well as Knecht. The reason I think Knecht could be the best fit of all of them, but again, he's about 3 years older than a lot of the names that we mentioned. I mentioned Holland first because I think the upside's there. I mentioned Reed Sheppard because he kind of fits what the Grizzlies look for, and his efficiency is off the charts. I mentioned Castle because I think that he's someone that could play with Bane and Jaw at times and could have that defensive first approach. Dillingham, I'd put him fourth, not necessarily because of the overall talent. I think he has a very high ceiling. Again, I just don't know if that ceiling is reached in Memphis as much as people might think, because he needs the ball in his hands so much. And again, I put Knecht last because, he's 23. But if from those 5 guys, I go Ron Holland in terms of preference: Ron Holland, Reed Sheppard, Stephon Castle, Rob Dillingham, and Dalton Knecht.
Fair enough. He is Sean Coleman, writer, podcaster for Bluff City Media, Battery Power, SBN. He is fun to talk to because the guy knows his stuff, and we always love having him on. Sean can be followed on Twitter, and I recommend you do so, at StatsSAC. That's StatsSAC. Sean, as always, thank you so much. It's going to be a fun next 6 weeks or so, and even a more fun summer as we try to figure out what the Grizzlies are going to do and hopefully get back to where they need to be and should be next season.
By the way, Greg, I'll leave you with this. I hope that the Grizzlies make their draft pick before the Phillies win another game. Have a good one, Greg. Always a pleasure. Thank you, sir.
You too, my friend. Thank you. It sounds like a sour Braves fan, man. Just sorry, too much damage that the Phillies have done to the Braves over the last couple of years has soured their opinion of everything. But I think he's spot on with his analysis of the Grizzlies. Does a great job as far as that's concerned. Speaking of basketball, you want to become a better shooter and in turn become a better basketball player? Shoot 360 Memphis is the place for you. From preps to pros, this is just a cool place. You need to go there. You need to take the tour and find out more about what it has to offer for children, your grandchildren, your children, your team. If you're a coach, your players, go out to Shoot 360. What it is, it's the system basically that Steph Curry uses. And that's not hyperbole, right? That's the truth. Steph Curry has used this system, which challenges everyone. You can compete with others, perfect your shot, and learn the proper ways to shoot the basketball using modern analytics. It's a revolutionary training facility that combines cutting-edge technology with expert coaching to improve shooting skills. The facility is equipped with advanced shooting machines that provide real-time feedback on shooting accuracy and arc and depth. Players can track their progress and analyze their performance. Players of all skill levels can benefit from the personalized training programs that they offer. They use something called NOAA Analytics, developed by NASA and Carnegie Mellon College. Everything the athletes do in their facility is recorded and stored in a member's app. You can watch their progress in real time. Now, currently, they're located in Collierville. They're moving to a bigger space in Cordova, state-of-the-art, and they're opening up on June 1st, so they're taking registrations right now. All you need to do is go to Shoot 360 Memphis to sign up. That's Shoot 360 Memphis. Call them at 901-316-5500. That's 901-316-5500. Or just head on over to Collierville at their current location. Register for the move to Cordova. You will not be disappointed. You will become, I guarantee you, I'm not going to guarantee you're going to become Steph Curry, but I guarantee you'll become a better shooter, a better all-around basketball player by getting a membership with Shoot 360 Memphis. Coming up next, Jeff Crane, University of Memphis Interim Athletics Director. You're tuned in to Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
We are Real Sports Talk. Sports 56 WHBQ. Available on your radio dial at 560 AM and 98.5 FM, as well as around the world online at sports56whbq.com. Take us with you everywhere by downloading the Sports 56 app. And at home, just say, Alexa, play Sports 56. Wherever you are, stay tuned in to Real Sports Talk. Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Extraordinary events come once in a blue moon, and right now, even the most extravagant luxuries are well within reach. The one and only May sale is back at Sissy's Log Cabin, and you can save up to 50% on nearly everything in the store. This is your chance to get the service, selection, and experience that makes you feel like family at the best prices of the year, guaranteed. Don't miss the one and only May sale at Sissy's Log Cabin, because life's too short for ordinary jewelry.
Includes all rebates and incentives. Price excludes $695 PF. Lease includes PF $695. $650 acquisition fee. EV6 P5610964. MSRP $50,200. Telluride RG 510 849. MSRP 38305. Forte LXS RE 78169. MSRP 21820. Must finance through Hyundai. Excludes tax title and license. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 5/31/2024 with approved credit. Dealers only.
I got Jeff Allen on the line to hear about some crazy deals happening at Gossett Kia southbound Mariah.
Randy, I'd love to give all our customers our best deal. 2024 Kia Forte LXS gets 41 MPG Highway, $199 a month, $34.99 due at signing. 282 miles EPA estimated range will get you where you want to go in the 2023 Kia EV6 Win, $249 a month, plus a 2024 Telluride LX, $357 a month. Both $39.99 due at signing and 24-month lease.
And 0% for 48 months on 2024 EV9, and peace of mind with a 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty.
So whether you live in Horn Lake, South Haven, Olive Branch, or Memphis, we'll make you happy at Gossett Kia South on Mount Moriah.
Don't sweat a swing and miss thanks to insurance tokens from BetMGM. Add an MLB wager to your bet slip and activate your bet insurance token. If your bet with the token applied doesn't hit, you'll get your stake back in bonus bets up to a specified maximum amount. That's another chance to step up to the plate and bet on the action out there on the diamond. Baseball is America's national pastime, and BetMGM's favorite pastime, making the sport even more amazing for fans. Whether you want to bet on a no-run first inning, try a signature bet, or take a home run prop, BetMGM has a loaded lineup for all 9 innings all season long. Go to your BetMGM account today to claim your bet insurance token and get your stake back in bonus bets if your MLB wager using the token doesn't win. Only at BetMGM, the king of sportsbooks and official sports betting partner of MLB. BetMGM and GameSense remind you to play responsibly. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 years of age or older. Tennessee only. Existing customer offer. Subject to eligibility requirements. Rewards are non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire in 7 days. Gambling problem? Call or text the Tennessee Red Line at 800-889-9789.
The 36th annual John Bull Bramlett Memorial Golf Classic is Tuesday, May 28th. This summer, Great Memphis Fellowship of Christian Athletes, or FCA, will have over 1,000 student athletes and coaches participating in camps. The funds raised from this golf tournament help send athletes to camp where they learn more about their sport as well as learning leadership skills while hearing the gospel of Jesus. For registration and sponsorship information, please visit memphisfca.org or email memphisfca@fca.org.
Admit it. When you start thinking about tastes of Memphis, you think treats, sweets. You think Dinstall's. For 122 years now. What is that, 5 generations? When people wanted something to bring to a party that will just make everybody happy, they bring out Dinstall's. 122 years of cashew crunch, of heavenly hash, of turtlettes, of their award-winning fudge. That's worldwide. It's known that well. Then there's the milk chocolate. It all starts there. There's the double-dip peanuts. And then every fall, those famous chocolate-covered strawberries with that fondant. And they won't tell you what's in the fondant, but it makes it oh so special. And easy to get to. 5 locations. There's where they make the candies in Pleasant View. There's Germantown. There's Collierville. There's even one downtown. down and in my neck of the woods in Laurelwood. You know what? 122 years made in Memphis and enjoyed by the whole world. Dinstall's.
Hi, I'm news correspondent Bob Woodruff. In 2006, a roadside bomb struck the armored vehicle I was riding in while reporting from Iraq. I sustained a life-threatening traumatic brain injury. The military term "got your six" means I have your back, and that day our service members had mine. During my recovery, I learned firsthand the challenges facing our service members who return home with injuries. While serving, their fellow service members always had their six. Now that they're home, it is our turn. We started the Bob Woodruff Foundation to make sure that the camaraderie and support they relied on in the military carries on, and we need you. Please join us as part of the Got Your Six initiative and help us be there for impacted veteran service members and their families. They've had our backs. It's time we have theirs. Learn more at gotyoursix.org. That's gotyoursix.org, using the number 6.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good morning, MPD on the scene of a couple of accidents. Here's what we're seeing. Heavy traffic continues to flow down the interstate here on 40 westbound between Germantown Parkway and Sycamore View Road. It's still a bit crowded over here on 240 eastbound. Right at Poplar, traffic still looks pretty decent coming out of Collierville, Bill Morris Parkway inbound all the way to 240. 24/7 reliable crane and rigging services right here in the Memphis area. Yes, it's Tomahawk Crane and Rigging. Check them out, tomahawkcrane.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Now back to Sports 56 mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by James Gaddis Jewelers.
To reveal the full spectrum of its dazzling color.
Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Welcome back, everyone. 8:31 the time. Halfway home on this Tuesday edition of Sports 56 Mornings. Greg Gaston, Zach Boyd. Eli off today. He'll return on Thursday. Coming up in hour 3, plenty of golf talk as Mickey Barker will join us, golf administrator for the city of Memphis, our weekly Mickey and Friends segment. And then Steve Sands from the Golf Channel on NBC. The PGA Championship begins Thursday in Louisville at Valhalla. We'll talk to Steve about the upcoming major on the PGA Tour. But right now it's time to talk University of Memphis athletics as we do each and every week with Jeff Crane.
It's time to talk Memphis Tigers athletics. Joining Greg and Eli is University of Memphis Deputy Athletics Director Jeff Crane. Here's Jeff with Greg and Eli.
And of course, for the last several weeks, Jeff has been the interim athletics director at the University of Memphis, doing a yeoman's job. You can follow him on Twitter at jcrane75. Hey, Jeff. Oh, can't hear Jeff. All right, we'll get Jeff back on. It has been one of those mornings, ladies and gentlemen. One of those mornings. We're going to try it again, Zach? Yeah, we've had some technical problems if you're just tuning in, unfortunately. But it is what it is. It happens over the course of a lifetime in broadcasting. You have some of these days that just don't go smoothly. But we're making chicken out of you-know-what. Trying to anyway. We just talked with Sean Coleman about the Grizzlies. If you missed that interview, you can always check it out on the website, sportsmemphis.com. In fact, you can listen to all our shows. We break them down hourly, so you can listen to the podcast at your leisure. Again, that's sportsmemphis.com. Hour 1, we talked a lot about the NBA playoffs from last night with the Celtics knocking off the Cavaliers to grab a 3-1 series lead, winning 109-102, and the Thunder beating the Mavs 100-96. All right, now I think we have Jeff on. Jeff, you there?
Good morning, Greg.
Hey, good morning. I'm sure you've had days like these, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. You know, it's kind of a rainy, cloudy day. Sometimes technology doesn't work on days like today.
You know what's crazy about like technology, in my opinion? I know nothing about it, to be honest with you. I know the bare minimum. But you can finish up a day, everything is perfect. You come back the next day, nothing's been touched, and all of a sudden something doesn't work. Like, I don't know how that happens, but that's life, I guess. So
Great when it works.
Yeah, absolutely. And it works most of the time. And we got guys around here that are working their tails off to try to get it all fixed. But last week was great for you guys. The University of Memphis, the Tigers on tour, first stop in Collierville. A great turnout to listen to the likes of Penny Hardaway, Ryan Silverfield, and they conversed with the fans that were there, the media that was there as well. Real nice event to get things started. I know you got a couple more coming up.
Yeah, it was tremendous. In fact, sometimes when you do events like that, you're not really sure what you're going to get, and the energy and enthusiasm that was in that Rotolo's restaurant that evening was tremendous, and frankly, just a great shot in the arm, and at a time of year when it's a little bit slower. Our seasons are slowing down, and a lot of our fans we're not going to see as much over the next couple months because of the summer, and a great way to kind of kick into the summer and keep that excitement going for Memphis Tiger athletics.
Is there a thought to, in the future, possibly take this off-season tour out to further reaches of the Memphis faithful? I know there's Tiger graduates all around Western Tennessee and even Eastern Arkansas, or is it strictly going to be events that are staged here in the greater Memphis area?
Yeah, no, I think that's something we're definitely going to take a look at as we go forward. And I think what we found is this time of year, people are hungry for opportunities to see our coaches and to see each other and see other Tiger fans. And so I think it's really important, especially as you get further outside of Memphis, those opportunities are not as plentiful, and so we need to create them. So absolutely can foresee us developing this into something a little bit bigger and going into some other markets out in Memphis.
And I don't want to leave out northern Mississippi as well. Plenty of University of Memphis graduates that now call northern Mississippi home. Jeff Crane is joining us on the Sissy's Log Cabin guest lines. And I know you've been making the rounds, and we talked about this last week, but you guys continue to make strides in trying to raise money to go to the NIL, raise money, obviously, to go to the stadium match with the Smith family. Things continue to be going pretty well on that topic as far as raising that money. Still ways to go, but you're making a dent.
Yeah, absolutely. Continued interest in the stadium project in particular. Lots of conversations happening there about how our fans can support that program and project that we're trying to get off the ground, and still working toward a start date very soon. As I know I keep saying, we're just a matter of weeks away, but it will be here before we know it. Not a definitive date yet, but we'll start on that east side very, very soon. And I think one of the best ways that folks can support our programs is buy season tickets. Purchasing those football season tickets, men's and women's basketball season tickets. This is the time of year that we go back out and ask for renewals of those tickets. In fact, our deadline for renewals is coming up tomorrow. So we're well on our way there and seeing a strong response and excited for where things are headed this season.
This is a broad question. It is not specific to the University of Memphis, but across the board, there seems to be somewhat of a reluctancy to purchase season tickets. Instead, go game to game, maybe mini packages, things of that nature. Why do you think that is?
Yeah, it's definitely a trend that's happening, across the country, not only in college sports, but sports in general. And I think I think there's a lot of reasons. I think number one, you've got the availability of tickets is at an all-time high through third-party sales sites, etc. You can buy any ticket to any event, almost any section of a venue, if you can hit it on the right day. So lots of availability in terms of tickets out there. And I just think people's bandwidth and schedules have gotten to a point where making a commitment over a longer period of time is not of interest. But we've responded to that with lots of mini pack offerings, and as I've talked about in the past, our single game ticket sales last year on all fronts, football, men's and women's basketball in particular, are at all-time highs. So, while we may start to see across the country season tickets go down, single game tickets are going up. So I think folks want flexibility, and we'll continue to find ways to offer that.
The FedEx gift, the NIL, which has become the talk of the country. I had a friend, I told the story yesterday on the air. I have a friend who is a coach at a mid-major. I'm not going to give the school out, and I'm not going to give his name out. But he texted me and he said, "You're the talk of college not me, but Memphis and FedEx is the talk of college basketball." Because I think they see that and they go, wow, that's what NIL is about. Student athletes of all types, not just the great players, but everybody that can be involved in NIL for using their name, image, and likeness. They're compensated, and they're doing things to promote FedEx. It's a equal partnership. And we're seeing that with what Ryan Silverfield, with what Penny Hardaway, with what Alex Simmons and other coaches are doing here recently through the portal. They're getting some name players, and they're getting players that have played at bigger programs as well, which says that Memphis is taking a major step forward in the NIL world.
Yeah, no doubt. It is a big part of the formula for success as we go forward, and being able to offer these sort of opportunities for our student athletes, and partnering with a tremendous company like FedEx. I mean, what a platform for student athletes to be able to tell their stories. And FedEx just did a great activation around Mother's Day with many of our student athletes, and just a unique opportunity for them. They got to send via FedEx a handmade Mother's Day gift to their moms.
That's great.
which is pretty cool. I mean, what a unique way to marry our student athletes and their reach with a huge worldwide company like FedEx. So they've been so open to creating some creative opportunities like that, and we're just excited for what the future holds there for our student athletes.
A big week for Memphis baseball. Final series of the regular season, hosting Wichita State Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. And a lot on the line trying to make it into Clearwater. In the past, it's been where all 8 teams got to Clearwater. Now you have 10 teams vying for 8 spots. So Memphis has to do some damage this week, and hopefully they get the support of the fans. I think it's been a fun first year for Matt Reiser. He's an aggressive coach. Love watching that team play. Love being able to call some of those games. But this is going to be big.
Yeah, big series coming up here. We've got to find a way to win all 3, and I have no doubt that Coach Reiser will have them ready to go. But to your point, I think what Coach Reiser and his staff are doing with that program is they're building something, and that takes time, and we're really going to see the fruits of the labor that we've seen this year. Probably in another year or so. I mean, these things take time to build, but he's the right way. He's doing the little things right. In fact, one of the really neat things is we award one of our teams who's done the most community outreach an award at the end of the year, and baseball received that. So Coach Reiser knows what it takes to build a program. He's done this before, and we're very confident in where the opportunity lies for that program going forward. Very high ceiling, but want to see some folks out. Last opportunity to see us this season, and hope to see folks out at FedEx Park, Avram Fogelman Field, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday.
Do you have any idea how close Coach Hardaway is to finishing up the schedule? I know there's a few more games that have to be agreed upon. I believe they'll all be home games, and then that schedule, I guess, can be released.
Yeah, it's coming. In fact, we've got some games that'll be released this week. So we're very close on the non-conference schedule, and I think our fans will be very pleased as usual. It'll be a highly touted schedule, and lots of regional teams and national teams that folks have heard of and grown accustomed to seeing at FedEx Forum. So more to come on that this week and then in the next couple of weeks.
So how many total games that have not been announced still have to be announced? 3? Is it 3 total games, or is it more?
I'm not sure the exact number, but yeah, I mean you're in the right spot there, somewhere around 4 games.
Okay, and then from the obvious, the getting ready to hopefully soon start the refurbishment of Simmons Bank Liberty Stadium, the renovations. Obviously, what you're doing on the grounds of trying to raise money. What else is coming up here in the next month or two as far as University of Memphis athletics?
Yeah, this is a busy time of year in terms of our planning going into the fall and putting a lot of emphasis on the football game day experience in particular. It'd be kind of neat. I mean, this is our first season to own Simmons Bank Liberty Stadium, and
right.
So we're gonna try some different things and do some different things that'll come out in the summer as we get closer to the kickoff of the season. But really focused on selling tickets and getting that stadium full for what's expected to be a lot of high expectations going into this season, and really excited about what's coming. You look at teams across the country, and while many of them have completely turned over their rosters over the last couple of years, Coach Silverfield's done a phenomenal job of keeping a core student athletes in the program, and I think that's going to really pay off this year. Lots of experience out on that field.
All right, Jeff, sounds great. He is Jeff Crane, University of Memphis Interim Athletics Director. You can follow him on Twitter at jcrane75. Catch him every Tuesday talking with us here on Sports 56 Mornings. Thank you, Jeff.
Thanks, Greg. Go Tigers, go.
Take care. Jeff Crane. Love hearing him talk University of Memphis athletics. When we come back, got a little NCAA news to wrap up hour number 2. Get you set for a busy third hour. This is Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Add a little fun to your lunch break. Join Johnny Radio for Sports 56 Happy Hour from 11 to 1 every weekday on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Welcome to Triumph Auto Sales, where you'll have a great car buying experience. Triumph Auto Sales is your #1 source of quality pre-owned vehicles ranging from lease returns to new car trades, all at huge savings. Plus, Triumph has a full array of financing options to meet your needs. Find your next car online at triumphautosales.com or stop in today at 4875 Elmore Road. Triumph Auto Sales will help you get the vehicle you want at the price you need and the service you deserve. For a great car and a great experience from a local and family-owned business, visit Triumph Auto Sales.
Everyone has dreams, and if you've been dreaming of new appliances, Appliance Liquidators can make your dreams come true at any budget. Appliance Liquidators in South Haven is family-owned with low prices on appliances along with top-notch customer service. Choose from authorized brands including Crosley, GE, Maytag, LG, Whirlpool, and more. Appliance Liquidators specializes in clearance and scratch and dent. You get quality with minor imperfections at affordable prices. Stop dreaming and start living with new appliances from Appliance Liquidators, 3320 Goodman Road East in South Haven.
They're taking care of beerness in Memphis right on the river with Grind City Brewing and all of their great products. Look, this was a dream come true for a father and son duo. And if you have not been to that brewery right on the river, just to the north of downtown, you're really missing something special. And now you can't miss their products. Wherever you go, you see a brand new label. It's clean, it's beautiful, it's distinctive. You'll know Grind City Brewing, and of course you know their products like Poppy's Pills, that great Pilsner, or Tiger Tail, that very creative craft malt liquor. There's the new Thaddeus Amber Lager. That is absolutely a great light beer. There's the India Pale called Godhopper. It's outstanding. And then there's the Belga, the Belgian-style wheat ale. They keep bringing hits at Grind City Brewing.
Do you know one of the best things you can do for your employees or family's health? Provide Arctic Clear bottled water. Arctic Clear bottled water is your locally owned and operated bottled water provider. Arctic Clear is 100% natural spring water with free delivery and setup, dependable service, and no long-term contracts. What an easy choice. Call Jeff Manus today, 901-382-2363, or visit arctic-clear.com. Arctic Clear bottled water. Call now, 382-2363. That's 382-2363.
I'm with John Burgos from the world-famous Rendezvous in the Alley since 1948.
Brett, we have catered parties all over this country and all over the world, from Singapore, Australia to Central Park in New York, but many people don't realize how much we do locally. For holiday events, office parties, tailgating, birthday parties, you can't do better than the Rendezvous. For example, you can get a cheese and sausage tray for 15 to 300 people for $3.75 a person. You can even build your own nacho bar for $10.50 per person. All you need is a minimum of 15 people. In many cases, we can arrange delivery and full-service catering. We've even made it easy to get to-go items. You can just park at our front door in the alley, put on your flashes, and we'll get you going ASAP. For all your catering items and prices, go to hogsfly.com, click on menu, and drop down to catering.
Thank you, John. The Rendezvous, Mr. Charlie Burgos' Rendezvous in the Alley since 1948 and celebrating its 75th year.
Are you excited about being a new grandmother?
Of course I am. A little intimidated, too.
Why?
Taking care of a baby today is so different than when I had you.
But, Mom, you did great with me.
Thanks, son. But I put you on your stomach to sleep.
Right. But now we know that babies should always be placed on their backs to sleep, for naps and at night, to reduce the risk of sudden infant death syndrome, or SIDS.
You also slept with blankets and toys in your crib.
True. But now we know to keep everything out of the crib except for my sweet baby girl. No blankets, pillows, or other soft or loose items.
Daddy's going to teach Nana all the ways to keep you safe while you sleep. Yes, he is. Yes, he is.
For more tips on safe sleep for babies, visit safetosleep.nichd.nih.gov. That's safetosleep.nichd.nih.gov. Sponsored by the Eunice Kennedy Shriver National Institute of Child Health and Human Development.
Now, back to Sports 56 Mornings.
Isn't it a lovely morning?
On Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour brought to you by James Gaddis Jewelers. Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Well, it's not really a lovely morning. Mr. Announcer Man's fibbing a bit. Gray skies. We got more rain coming in later today. Possibly some severe weather tonight. But it looks like Wednesday and Thursday will be okay. Broadcasting live from the Family Leisure Studios, this is Sports 56 Mornings. Coming up in hour number 3, Mickey Barker joins us for our weekly Mickey and Friends segment, and Steve Sands from the Golf Channel on NBC. So a lot of golf talk in hour number 3. Did want to mention this before we take our final break of the hour. NCAA President Charlie Baker. Remember, he hasn't been in his position for that long and walked right into a hornet's nest. Said yesterday, there is still a lot of work to be done on a multi-billion-dollar House settlement, but that it would create clarity and predictability for schools. So again, the NCAA is about to have to pay several $billion to NCAA institutions. Yet Charlie feels that this is the right thing to do, apparently, because it will fix a lot of the ills. Now, it's not going to be settled today. It's not going to be settled tomorrow. And if it's not settled before January, they go to trial. They go to court. They're trying to avoid all that. And then this will lead into some sort of revenue sharing. There's no question about it. Will it be better for NCAA athletics or not? I have no idea. But Charlie Baker seems to understand what the situation is better than his predecessor, I could tell you that. But it will cost the NCAA billions of dollars. All right, we'll take a break. We'll come back. Hour number 3 will be loaded for bear. This is Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
At Jason's Deli, when you're dining in or picking up curbside, you can expect wholesome food and no surprises, just delicious sandwiches, crisp salads, and quick quality meals made with the freshest ingredients and no artificial trans fats, MSG, high fructose corn syrup, or artificial colors and dyes. Around here, a lot of thought goes into what we put into our food and what we take out of it, because you're not just taking a bite, you're getting a taste of who we are. New items are constantly being created to expand our menu for all tastes and special diets with vegan and gluten-free options available. Convenience and on-time delivery you can count on. It's just a click away at jasonsdeli.com, so whether you need to feed 5 people or 5,000, the team at Jason's Deli, they have the credentials and the commitment to keep you satisfied. Freshness is nearby at Jason's Deli with locations at Ridgeway in the Park Place Center, Poplar and Highland, Germantown Road in Cordova, and on Goodman Road in Olive Branch. Jason's Deli. It's wholesome food and no surprises.
Admit it. When you start thinking about tastes of Memphis, you think treats, sweets. You think Dinstall's. For 122 years now. What is that, 5 generations? When people wanted something to bring to a party that will just make everybody happy, they bring out Dinstall's. 122 years of cashew crunch, of heavenly hash, of turtlettes, of their award-winning fudge. That's worldwide. It's known that well. Then there's the milk chocolate. It all starts there. There's the double-dip peanuts. And then every fall, those famous chocolate-covered strawberries with that fondant. And they won't tell you what's in the fondant, but it makes it oh so special. And easy to get to. 5 locations. There's where they make the candies in Pleasant View. There's Germantown. There's Collierville. There's even one downtown and in my neck of the woods in Laurelwood. You know what? 122 years made in Memphis and enjoyed by the whole world. Dinstall's.
It's time to get to Gossett Kia on the Pike so Bobby J can put you in your new Kia today. Want summer fun and 41 MPG? We Gossett with 2024 Kia Forte LXS. $199 a month, $34.99 due at signing. How about 282 miles of EPA estimated range with new 2023 Kia EV6 Win? $249 a month. Get extra room and extra fun with 2024 Kia Telluride LX. $357 a month, both $39.99 due at signing. All 24-month lease plus 0% APR for 48 months. Available on the all-new Kia EV9. And peace of mind with Kia's 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. So hurry to Gossett Kia, 1900 Covington Pike. Online, KiaCovingtonPike.com.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
Include all rebates and incentives. Price excludes $695 PF. Lease includes PF $695, $650 acquisition fee, EV6 P5610964, MSRP $50,200, Telluride RG 510,849, MSRP $38,305, Forte LXS RE 78169, MSRP $21,820. Plus finance through Hyundai. Excludes tax island license. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 5/31/2024 with approved credit. Dealer stock only.
That's the sound of steak searing in its juices on your new pellet grill. You heard that right. The Weber Searwood Pellet Grill can smoke low and slow at 180 degrees all the way to a high heat sear at 600. With the Weber Searwood, you can cook on the direct flame over the full grade sear zone. You'll hear the gasp of amazement from friends and family when you serve the food. Cooking with the Weber Searwood Pellet Grill just sounds delicious and tastes even better.
At University of Maryland Global Campus, we give our students credit. Credit for deciding while stuck in traffic to get a bachelor's degree. Credit for managing 3 kids, 2 dogs, and a full-time job to pursue an MBA. Students at UMGC can use prior learning or relevant experience to earn up to 90 credits toward a bachelor's, and graduate students can transfer up to 12 credits toward their master's. Plus, get your application fee waived through May 31st. Flexible online and hybrid classes start soon. Learn more at umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by Chev.
I've got Rock and Ronnie Smith on the line at Gossett Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram Fiat on the Pike. And Ronnie, it's the season for the Memorial Day sales event.
It's time to rock, Randy, in your new 2023 Jeep Renegade Latitude 4-wheel drive. $25,889 or $389 a month. That's $5,206 off MSRP. How about a 2024 Dodge Hornet GT all-wheel drive, packing up to 268 horsepower, plus 295 pound-feet of torque, $32,320, plus power up in our 2023 Dodge Charger SXT 4-door, $28,072. That's over $9,000 off MSRP.
So drive past the rest and come to the best at Gossett Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram Fiat on the Pike. Or online anytime, GossettMotorcars.net.
All 75 months at 8.99 APR, 3,500 down, Renegade Triple P 56,520, MSRP 31,095, Charger PH 636,171, MSRP 37,120, Hornet R3A 152,64, MSRP 34,820. Price includes all rebates and incentives and excludes PF 695. Payments includes PF 695. All exclude tax, title, and license with approved credit. CD for complete details. Dealer stock only.
Ole Miss Rebel Yell is back. The Rebel Yell Hotline Radio Show is back on WHBQ Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Every Monday night at 6, hear the latest news on your Ole Miss Rebels with Yancey Porter with 24/7 Sports, former Ole Miss defensive tackle Mike Fitzsimmons, Gordon Ford covering SEC Sports Call, and former Ole Miss baseball announcer Gary Darby. From kickoff to free throw to extra innings, your Ole Miss sports on the Rebel Yell Hotline Show right here Monday night at 6 on Sports 56 560 AM and 98.5 FM. Your Mid-South Sports Station.
This traffic report brought to you by Appliance Liquidators with low prices and top-notch customer service. Appliance Liquidators, 3320 Goodman Road East in South Haven.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good morning. Trying to clear up a couple of earlier accidents. There's still some volume out here on 240 over here at Mill Branch. It's a little bit crowded now. Coming down I-40 westbound from Germantown Parkway all the way to Sycamore View Road. Traffic's trying to build up through the Midtown area right on schedule. 240 northbound at Lamar. Hey, Weimer's Jewelry, 7525 Highway 64 is your full-service family-owned jewelry store right here in Memphis. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, and W253DF Memphis, Flynn Broadcasting Stations. Now back to Sports 56 mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour brought to you by Jenkins Floors and More. Here once again are Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Welcome back, everyone. 9:01 the time, hour 3 here on Sports 56 mornings. The Tuesday, May 14th, 2024 edition. Greg Gaston, Zach Boyd. Eli is off today. He returns on Thursday. Broadcasting live from the Family Leisure Studios. Family Leisure, 2120 Whitten Road, just north of I-40, where family and fun come together. Currently 70 degrees, overcast skies. We got rain, more rain rolling into the area. Looking at a high of 76 today. There's a chance of thunderstorms, and then a little bit later on today, gusty winds, small hail possible. The severe weather is minimal, but there is that chance. The chance of rain at 50%. Then tonight, 62 for a low. Stray shower or thunderstorm is possible. Tomorrow and Thursday looks to be okay. Got sunshine, a little bit of clouds, and a low chance for precipitation. 16% tomorrow, 7% on Thursday. But, of course, that's always subject to change. Hour 3 of the program brought to you by Jenkins Floors and More at 6 East Commerce in Hernando, Mississippi, and also in Little Rock and Cleveland, Mississippi, family-owned and operated. This local business specializes in flooring and carpeting, and we're so happy to have them aboard. If it's variety you're looking for, they have it at Jenkins Floors and More. SPC and WPC vinyls, which are scratch-resistant and waterproof. Ceramic and porcelain tiles. Hardwoods by Portercraft. Carpeting from Southern Luxury Carpet. Backsplashes for your kitchens and bathrooms. And plantation shutters and blinds. So much more. They sell at wholesale, skipping the middleman and saving you lots of money. Why has it been so successful? Because of their pricing, their attention to detail. That's why they've earned the reputation of being one of the top flooring companies in the area. 2-week turnaround. That doesn't hurt either. You go with Jenkins Floors and More, they will have the job done in 2 weeks. You can stop by. You can call them at 662-469-9350. They're open Monday through Saturday. They will come to you, give you that free estimate, show you different samples to use. All military and first responders, 10% off. And Sports 56 listeners, make sure to ask about their family discount. Great family, great service, Jenkins Floors and More. Time now to talk some golf with Mickey Barker.
It's time to hit the links and talk some golf. It's Mickey and Friends. Mickey Barker, administrator of golf for the Bluff City, joins Greg and Eli each week. Now here's Mickey Barker with Greg and Eli.
It is a big week in golf with the PGA Championship. Valhalla is the location. Louisville, Kentucky. It begins on Thursday, but a lot of great action happening here in Memphis with City Golf courses, and Mickey is joining us now as he does each and every Tuesday. Mickey Barker, you can follow him on Twitter at MickeyBarker1, golf administrator for the city of Memphis, and a Hall of Fame golfer from Lipscomb University. How are you today?
Good, Greg. How are you doing this morning?
Doing good. All right, we talk about the weather usually to start things off every week, and I know last week you were saying that was good. We needed some of that rain. Well, it's been raining pretty much every darn day. Are we okay with that?
We're still in good shape. We need it to hold off for a little bit. We need some dry weather. A couple of our courses are standing in water. We're having a little bit of trouble mowing out, but we'll get there. It'll shut off before long.
All right, as far as Audubon is concerned, still on target for that opening early August, are we looking at?
Right around early August, something like that. We'll get a lot of information out in the coming months of the grand opening and when you'll be able to make tee times starting up in August.
And again, for folks who maybe are tuning in for the first time, just come to Memphis. They don't know City Golf here. Quick explanation of the courses and how they can set up tee times.
Right. We've got 7 golf courses. We've got 3 9-hole golf courses and 4 18-hole golf courses. Go to memphispubliclinks.com. You can make your tee times right there. You can see videos of the golf courses, see pictures of the courses, and decide where you want to play if you don't want to play all of them.
All right, I mentioned nationally, or not nationally, but on the PGA Tour, we have the PGA Championship this week, one of the majors, and it's shaping up to be possibly a really, really good battle if these two guys continue to play the way they have been playing. Scottie Scheffler, who took some time off recently for his wife gave birth to their first child, and Rory McIlroy. You have Scheffler, who's won, I believe, 4 of the last 5 events he's entered, including the Masters and the Players' Championship. And what Rory did at Wells Fargo this past weekend in Charlotte was pretty incredible, especially on Sunday. If those two guys are at the top of their game, who's the better player?
That's a good question. If they're both playing as at the top, I don't know. It would be really fun to see. Rory drives it so well, but Scottie hardly ever misses a shot. And the way Rory putted on Sunday, if he putts like that, it should be quite a shootout. I would love to see the two of them on Sunday afternoon going down the stretch.
Wyndham Clark jumped up last year by winning the PGA Championship. He was not a real known commodity. Now he is. Are there a couple of guys that you are looking at waiting in the wings to maybe make that triumphant event this weekend where they become all of a sudden a household name like Clark?
Well, I think the two that you look at mostly would be Max Homa and Xander Schauffele. I mean, both of them are world-class players. They've won many tournaments on championship-level golf courses, but they haven't broken through for that major. That's the next step for both of them, I think, and both are playing well coming into this tournament.
In your golf past, have you ever had an event where either you were the Rory or you were the Xander from what happened on Sunday? All of a sudden, Xander's in the lead, in control, and then boom. It's not like he started flopping them in the water and getting penalty strokes. Rory just put it into another gear. Has that ever happened with you in your playing days?
Well, a little bit. Not anywhere close to that level, not even in the same ballpark as the level of golf that they play. But, occasionally coming down the stretch of a tournament, you might have a chance to win, and then all of a sudden you just get blown by. The guy makes 3 or 4 birdies on the back 9 coming down, and that has definitely happened. And you have to tip your hat, and you have to, Xander made a couple fumbles, a couple bogeys, but he just got blown by. And you just say, hey, great playing, and try to get you next time.
Have you ever been to Valhalla?
I have been. I went to the Ryder Cup there when Azinger's team won and Kenny Perry was on the team. What a wonderful golf course. So much fun for the Ryder Cup. I think it'll be a blast for this PGA Championship. Justin Thomas, it's his hometown. I would love to see him get in contention and have the crowd behind him a little bit. He was talking this morning that he was there when he was 7 years old when Tiger and Bob May went at it in 2000. So should be a lot of fun.
All right, locally, the Mayor's Cup qualifier has been going on. Got some results?
Right, we finished that up. We had the qualifier on Saturday, and we had some great scores. We had 3 different players that shot 5 under par 66s. David Apperson, Matt Cooper, and Josh Warlick all shot 5 under to be at the top of the bracket. It took 77 to get into the match play. That was the cut line. So we had 31 players at 77 or better at Fox Meadows on Saturday. The 32nd spot, which will be the number 1 seed, is the champion from last year, Dan Roberts. So he'll be the defending champion and number 1 seed.
Very familiar names to those of us who know local golf. So what's next?
Next, they'll start their first round matches. They'll have a month to play those matches. They will pick the time, the course, the lower seed or the higher seed. So the 16 seed will pick where they play, what course they play. It has to be one of the 18-hole courses. Could be Galloway, Fox, or Pine Hill at this time.
All right. I also wanted to bring up a name that probably folks are not familiar with, but they probably will become more familiar with as time goes by. His name is Blades Brown.
16-year-old junior player from Nashville. He is unbelievable talent. Played this past week in his first PGA Tour event, full PGA Tour event at Myrtle Beach. He finished 26th, shooting, I believe he shot 10 under par for the week. Unbelievable talent. He won the Tennessee PGA Junior at Spring Creek last year, and he was, for 3 days, he was more than 20 under par at Spring Creek Ranch.
16 years old. There's the player on tour. Do you recall his name, who's also a young kid that played in an event maybe 2 weeks ago?
Right. We've had last week that we had a young teenager play, didn't make the cut, and then 2 weeks before that there was a teenager that played 2 weeks in a row, made the cut the first week, and then shot 4 under par the following week and missed the cut on the Korn Ferry Tour. So there's great young players.
Yeah, is it becoming more of a trend that we're getting younger players? I mean, obviously they're starting earlier. They're getting great teaching lessons, instruction as kids, but really starting earlier and then honing their craft by the time they're in their early teens, that they're able to take that leap to the PGA Tour, which is incredible.
It is. The quality of the events that the kids have to play in now, from the AJGA to state events, the PGA Junior Championship, the USGA National Championship for the juniors, those are so much like tour events that these kids they're prepared to go out and play, and they feel like they can compete. And obviously Blades, he can compete with anybody in the world.
Well, we've talked a lot about all the golf courses, obviously, including Overton, which you guys just did a magnificent job in reshaping that and reinventing that for golfers, the 9-hole Jewel, Overton Park. And we are extremely pleased to be joined by a very familiar name, Dwight Drinkert, who is the chairman of the Overton Park Junior Open. He joins us now on Sports 56 Mornings. Hey, Dwight.
Good morning. Good morning.
How are you?
I'm great. Thank you for having me.
Oh, thanks for joining us. So I know, obviously, your connection to this event, but it goes way back to when you actually played in this event. For our listeners out there, how far does this event go back? And then tell us about, as a kid, playing over at Overton.
The event was started in 1947 by Dub and Jake Fondren and became a treasure very early on. And by the time I played in it in the late 50s, it was known as one of, if not the largest kids match play tournament in the United States, and was very popular for decades until it became kind of on hard times as the golf course went downhill. And that's all part of our story of resurrection. Part of the resurrection of the golf course was the resurrection of the golf tournament, and we're bringing it back to its early glory. And it went from about 25 golfers the year before the pandemic, and last year we had 200. So it's
wow.
It's been a real fun success story for us.
Dwight, when you pull up to the tournament week there, and you see all the gallery ropes and all the volunteers, it really looks like a mini tour event with the scoreboard up and the video board. I really appreciate you guys, what you've done, the committee you put together to make that such an event. Can you talk about all your different volunteers?
We've had a great committee. We put together a group of 7 or 8 of executive committee that met over a period of months to put the first tournament together in 22, and a very dedicated, very smart group of local people that are connected to both golf and the community. One of our goals has been to create a tournament that is a first-class event for kids of all skill levels. Excuse me. We're not trying to compete with the AJGAs or the SNEDS Tour and that sort of thing. We're trying to have a fun golf tournament for kids of all skill levels, male and female, to play on the short Overland Park golf course, which is a real treasure. And if any of your listeners haven't played it, they need to go over there. It's not going to be the challenge that they'll face at some of the other courses, but it is just a gem, and it is where so many people in this community learn to play golf. And going back to Kerry Middlecoff and the Fondren brothers and whatnot, and that's what makes this so special.
Dwight, what are the dates? What's the format, and how do these players qualify?
Well, the dates are July 8th through 11th. It's a 4-day event, but the first day is qualifying. They shoot a score qualifying round on Monday, July 8th, and that puts you into a flight of 8 people, and then it becomes a match play tournament to where half the field is eliminated on Tuesday, half again on Wednesday, and then the finals on Thursday. There is no qualifying. It's the first come, first serve. We have a max of 160 players. That's first come, first serve, male, female. Registration starts tomorrow, actually, May 18th, 8 o'clock a.m. online at opjunioropen.org. Anybody who wants to go can sign up. Again, all skill levels. There is no qualifying. We are attracting kids from ages 7 through 16. They'll be in age groups of 2 years, 7, 8, 8, 9, that sort of thing. And it's a match play tournament, which makes another way it makes it different than the other junior tournaments.
The great thing that we really like as the city and the golf, we're trying to grow the game of golf, is the cost to enter this event.
Well, it's kind of hard to beat the cost because it's free. and we have been blessed with the city giving us the golf course for 4 days at no charge. We've been blessed by sponsors like Nike, who's our presenting sponsor, and other community sponsors like Independent Bank, who are allowing us to raise the funds to stage the golf tournament without charging an entry fee whatsoever. And it's been our goal from day one is to put on a first-class event for kids of all skill levels, of all ages. And I think we've been able to nail that. And every year we concentrate on getting bigger and better, not so much bigger in terms of number of players, but bigger in terms of the stature of the tournament. And this year will be the 3rd year of the resurrection, and I dare say we're going to sell out very early. So if any of your listeners have children who want to play, they need to sign up early.
Dwight, why has there always been this love affair between the game of golf and the city of Memphis?
That's a great question, and I really don't. I've not thought about it. I don't know the answer to that. Golf is such a wonderful game that combines the outdoors and exercise and companionship and fun and challenge and so on. But it's one that anybody can play. You don't have to be a great golfer to enjoy the sport. In tennis, so much of it depends on who you're playing. In golf, if you have a good tennis player and a bad tennis player, that's not a fun match. But in golf, you're on your own. You're playing. You can handicap system, and I don't know that answers your question about why Memphians love golf. I think just why people love golf. And of course, we've been blessed with the climate that we have, and we've had good golf courses here. The professional tournament here attracts so much interest to the game. But beyond that, that's a good question. I don't have a definitive answer.
Dwight, growing up in Paris, we always came down for the golf tournament for the FedEx every year when it was at Colonial, and then when we moved to Southwind. And every time I came to Memphis as a kid, you're driving by and you see Colonial off of I-40 there, and you just thought about golf. And of course, living golf growing up, that's all I thought about. But when I thought about Memphis, you thought about golf tournaments, and that it's synonymous with it. And we have a lot of great players. Doug winning this weekend was fantastic, and Lauren Roberts is such a great ambassador for the Overton Park Junior Open. He's out there every year. So, we have a lot of great people that love the game of golf here in Memphis.
Memphis has always produced golfers with natural stature, including going back to Hillman Robbins and Junie Bucksbaum and Curtis Person Sr. and Kerry Middlecoff, of course. And those folks have become heroes to us amateurs.
Mm-hmm.
And that's another, perhaps that's another reason why it's a popular sport here.
Hey, Dwight, thank you so much for joining us. Great to hear from you again, and continued success with the Junior Open.
Thanks so much. We appreciate having me.
That is Dwight Drinkard. Again, he's the chairman of the Overton Park Junior Open. So, Mickey, tomorrow, one of my guests will be Doug Barron. Speaking of golf and golfers from the area and success, so I was thinking about this yesterday, and Dwight brought up Dr. Kerry Middlecoff, who won a Masters and 2 U.S. Opens. Sean McKeel won a PGA championship. Lauren did not win a major on the regular tour, although close on several occasions, won 4 on the tour they call it now the PGA Tour Champions. And now Doug Barron. First of all, is that the only 4? Is there anybody else with the Memphis connections that has won a major? And number 2, what about that win for Doug Barron down in Birmingham?
Well, Hillman Robbins also won a U.S. Amateur championship, and then David Gossett also won a U.S. Amateur. So
amateurs, but yeah.
Right, would classify those as majors as well. But Doug winning, fantastic. Coming off the injury-laden year that he had last year and getting back to playing and beating the guys that he beat down the stretch with Ernie Els and Padraig Harrington. Just so clutch, and just so glad to see him win.
All right, great stuff. Again, hopefully, look, I see the sun peeking out, but I know there's supposed to be some weather later on in the day. Tomorrow and Thursday should be really nice, so make sure to get your tee times, get out there and play one of these terrific city courses here in Memphis. Mickey, as always, thank you so much.
Thanks, Greg. Look forward to it.
We'll talk to you next week. That's Mickey Barker, the administrator of golf for the city of Memphis, the Hall of Fame golfer from Lipscomb University. You can follow him on Twitter at MickeyBarker1. When we come back, we're going to continue talking golf. Steve Sands from the Golf Channel on NBC will join us next. This is Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
You already know you can listen to Sports 56 anywhere with the Sports 56 app or at sports56whbq.com. But you can also watch us daily with live video of all of our shows on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch.
All of us tend to overdo things a little bit once spring takes hold, and some of the time we might wake up with a little bit of a headache and a lot of appetite. Your answer to a big night before is a breakfast or lunch at Sunrise. Sunrise East on Poplar and Sunrise on Jefferson are made for filling your belly with sweet relief. Have some signature square biscuits, some perfectly prepared eggs, or at lunch, a nice juicy Sunrise burger. And if your night before isn't quite over, both Sunrise locations have a full bar. Sunrise on Poplar and Sunrise on Jefferson, the perfect place to get over last night.
Thoroughbred Racing is combining its tradition of hands-on care with cutting-edge technology, raising safety standards to the highest levels. New investments in wearable biometric devices, AI, and advanced imaging to help reduce injury risk. And the sport's new independent regulator, HISA, is implementing uniform rules, testing, and strict enforcement, an ecosystem of care, and a commitment to protect horse and rider. It's safety that runs first. To learn more, visit safetyrunsfirst.com.
Are you aware? It's patio season. Family Leisure sure is. That's why they have factory direct pricing on swimming pools, spas, and even, yes, patio furniture. Yes, sir, it's indeed patio season. So come by Family Leisure and check out all the brand new 2024 patio furniture sets. And with patio season here, you know that pool season will be here before you even know it. So buy now to get in line for your pool installation and get pre-season pricing. Plus, you could save $1,000, $2,000, $3,000, even up to $5,000 on all spas and swim spas. Family Leisure has got special pricing on all in-stock saunas, theater seating, pool tables, and even outdoor kitchens. I love it when it's patio season because of all the fantastic deals that Family Leisure makes available just for you. Family Leisure, Whitten Road at I-40, where family and fun come together.
eBay Motors is here for the ride. 120,000 miles of night drives, daily commutes, and who knows how many.
Are we there yet?
Through countless fixes, elbow grease, and a new radiator, you kept your ride alive. With eBay Motors, you have over 122 million parts to keep it running. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they'll be the perfect fit every time. Plus, at these prices, well, we're burning rubber, not cash. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
There's an institution in East Memphis that I love talking about. It's the Spirit Shop at 4848 Poplar Avenue, right down the street from Clark Tower, and it looks like a log cabin. It's been around Memphis since 1969 with a family-owned, friendly, knowledgeable sales staff that is just a wonderful place to go. I love going in and talking wine or bourbons, and they've got such great selection. So if you've not visited the Spirit Shop in a while, it's been remodeled. You'll love what you see when you need spirits. Tell Eddie Wollo said hello.
Nestled in the heart of East Memphis, located corner of Park and Cherry, is a beautiful residential neighborhood. I'm here at Town Village Audubon Park interviewing a new resident, Carolyn. Share with us why you chose Town Village.
Well, if your parents or special friends need to make that big move, let me share with you my experience. It was tough for me to leave home, but then I discovered Town Village. I would like to highly recommend Town Village to you and your loved ones. After looking at all the amenities and meeting all the people and staff, I was hooked. From restaurant, bistro, 3 meals per day, housekeeping, transportation, security, health care, physical therapy, exercise room, and even a heated pool and spa. Come see us and make your new home at Town Village.
Visit us and call Daniel at Town Village Audubon Park at 901-374-7342. There's no place like home, Town Village.
Now back to Sports 56 Mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour brought to you by Jenkins Floors and More. Here once again are Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Welcome back. 9:26 the time. Hour number 3 here on Sports 56 Mornings. It has been an eventful morning to say the least. Greg Gaston, Zach Boyd. Eli is off today. He returns on Thursday. Steve Sands scheduled to join us here in the next few moments from the Golf Channel on NBC. We talked some local golf with Mickey Barker a little bit earlier on in the hour, but it is time to talk PGA Championship, and we are delighted to be joined by our friend Steve Sands from the Golf Channel on NBC, who joins us to preview each and every major, and we can't thank him enough. How are you, man?
Doing great, Greg. How are you, bud?
I'm good. It's been one of those days in the broadcasting industry, you know it, when technically it's been an abomination.
Oh, no.
Yeah, it was rough. It was rough to start, and we're still trying to get things straightened out. A lot of good people here working hard, working diligently, but we're on.
Just tell Eli, Greg, to just plug it back in. That's all. Just plug it right back in the wall.
Oh, we're doing that. We're pulling it out, plugging it back in, wiping it off, doing all those things that, you know, the engineer moves.
You know what I wish people could see?
What's that?
Greg and Eli? I wish people could see. You guys have been in a TV compound at a big sporting event.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, Eli's not with us today.
Oh, Eli's not there.
He's at Fenway.
Sorry, Eli. Enjoy Fenway. Go Sox. There are a gajillion TV trucks, wires everywhere.
Oh, gosh.
And there are guys who are sitting underneath the trucks, the engineers. These guys are brilliant at what they do, the best in the world at what they do. literally have no idea what they do. Like, literally, walk by them all the time, say hello, know their names, they're great guys, and they're amazing at what they do. Have literally no idea what they do. And you guys evidently are in the same scenario right now. You guys have amazing, brilliant engineers working on things to get you guys on the air.
Yeah, but you remember your days in local television, unfortunately not in Salisbury, but these local stations, you would go to the engineer. You know this, I'm telling you. Everybody who's worked in local television knows it. You'd go to the engineer and say, hey, this thing is not working. And the first thing they say is, pull the plug out, plug it back in. Right? I mean, all the time. You go, what?
Control, Alt, Delete. Yeah, remember those days?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, it's just... by the way, speaking of Salisbury, if I just could have gotten a call back, I know they didn't have cell phones back then or email, but just a callback. I mean, geez, you received the resume and the 3/4-inch tape, for goodness sake.
I didn't know you would be hurt. If I knew all these years later you'd be hurt by not getting a call back. I didn't call anybody back, but anyway.
Yeah, I know. Heartless. Greg,
it worked out.
Memphis needs to know that their favorite radio host is heartless.
It worked out okay for you, brother. How many times you been to Valhalla?
I've been to Valhalla a couple times, actually. Good spot, big ballpark. I mean, big ballpark. A lot of land. Good venue. They've had some big-time events there. I mean, this is the fourth PGA. They've had a Ryder Cup there. The PGA of America sold the property a couple of years ago. So we'll see if it comes back to Valhalla. But it's a championship venue for sure.
What type of a course are these guys dealing with?
You know, it's long, thick, rough. It's not U.S. Open. It's like a U.S. Open light, Greg, if you will. You know, I think people will be able to score there. But they've had, you know, some major league winners there. I mean, Tiger's won there. Rory McIlroy's run there. I mean, like, you know, they've had some serious horsepower win there. And you've got to have a lot of game to succeed at Valhalla. You've got to have some distance. You got to have touch around the greens. This is not a bunter's ballpark. This is not Hilton Head. This is not Colonial next week. This is a big ballpark.
Well, speaking of a lot of game, Scheffler, as hot as anybody, of course, takes off a couple of weeks for the birth of his child. And then Rory does what he did over the weekend at Wells Fargo. When the two of those guys are at the top of their game, Scheffler versus mano-a-mano versus McIlroy, who's the better player?
Oh, man, Greg. Oh, my gosh. I still think Rory is a little better, I think. But every player who is great has a hot streak. And Raymond Floyd told me last time we spoke was at the Masters, Greg. Raymond Floyd told me on our set, he said, listen, every great player has their day, has their day in the sun, has a 2 or 3 year stretch. Now, if it lasts longer than 3 years, now we're talking. So we were talking about Scheffler when he mentioned that, and I said, "Really? Why is that?" He goes, "Because look, I got hot. You know, Jack got hot forever. You know, Tom Watson got hot forever. You know, guys who are the all-time greats, they stay hot. They stay consistent. But McIlroy, 11-14, 4 majors, hasn't won one since.
Right.
Spieth, 14-17, 3 majors, hasn't won one since. You know, Jason Day, Whistling Straits, never won another one. Justin Thomas got gifted one by Mito Pereira a couple of years, you know, last year at the PGA, 2 years at the PGA Championship, or else he would be stuck on one. These things are really hard to win, and I think when you're playing your best, oh, man, I think it's McIlroy, but I got to wait and see, because Scheffler might be in the midst of that heat and hot streak that Raymond talked about, or we might be looking at pure greatness over a sustained period of time. We just have to wait and see. But I think I would take McIlroy over Scotty, I think.
You know what's interesting? You can only judge greatness on results. But
yes,
in this day and age, when it seems like there's more top-tier competitors, there's going to be less majors won by some of these guys that we still may look at and go, you know, they really were great, but they only won 2 majors or 1 major or 3 majors. So it's hard to, when we go back and look back in history and look at some of these guys, it's going to be really hard to gauge just how good they were because of the competition that was taking place at the time.
Yeah, I think most people in golf, Greg, will say that Nicklaus went against better players at the top, but no depth.
Right.
So meaning that 9, 10, 12, 15 guys could win these majors every week, every year in Jack's era versus the Tiger era where literally, 80, 90 guys can win each and every time they go to a major championship, maybe even deeper than that. But, Tiger went, like Duval, 1 major, all right, VJ 3, Ernie 4, Retief 2, Mickelson 6, and his last one came when Tiger was basically out of the picture. So let's say it's 5 head-to-head against Tiger. Jack, Tom Watson won 8, Gary won 9, Arnie won 7, Casper won a couple, Weiskopf won 1, Miller won a couple, Raymond Floyd won 4, Trevino won 6, Faldo won 6. There's a lot. The last guy to win 6 is when PGA Championship at Kiowa a couple of years ago, 3 years ago when Phil won. Brooks won last year to make it 5 majors. So these things are so hard to win. They're only 4 times a year, Greg.
Mm-hmm.
I think results matter more than anything. And I think, Rory's got 4 and Scotty's got 2. So let's see how it all plays out. But right now, I think those 2 are the best players.
Steve Sands from the Golf Channel and NBC joining us on the Sissy's Log Cabin guest line. All right, so I wish Eli was here for this subject. Tiger Woods, what do you think? You know him better than a lot of people. What do you think he will do in the future? Will he play the Masters for a long time? Like, will you see him out there at 58, 59 playing the Masters? And number 2, do you think he'll ever play a PGA Tour Champions event major?
I do think he'll play a PGA Tour Champions major. He has told his peers, he has told us before, that I fully expect when he turns 50, if he's healthy. Now, that's a big if, but if he's healthy, Greg, I think that I think he'll play in a U.S. Senior Open. I think he'll play in an Open a Senior Open championship, depending on the venue. If it's at a St. Andrews or a great venue like that, I think he'll play it. I think a U.S. Senior Open certainly is in the cards. So I think he'll play the major championships on the PGA Tour Champions. As far as the regular tour, I don't know, Greg. Clearly things are winding down. That's for sure. But will he play a regular event? Will he play a Genesis because that benefits his foundation?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think he'll play that. I think he'll play the Hero World Challenge. Now, again, this is all with the caveat if he's healthy or not. I think he'll play the Hero World Challenge in December because that benefits his foundation, and that's not a regular tour event, but it is an event. And I think he'll always play the Masters as long as he's healthy. And, the other ones, I think he's just going to go case by case and see how he's feeling. But he's there this week. I think that's a good sign that he's at Valhalla where he won a PGA Championship. And I think it's, in the offing to keep that major championship schedule, perhaps. But other than that, I don't see him playing regular events too often.
Yeah, your answer is exactly what my answer was. I said, no, I think he'll continue to play the Masters, and he'll play those majors, maybe not all of them, on the PGA Tour Champions. And Eli said, no, he'll never play one of those events. I go, no, I think he will. But you said the caveat, if he's healthy. But what is healthy for Tiger? He'll never be fully healthy, right? He's never going to be 100%.
No, he's never going to be 100%. And that's why I think that, it's such a weird deal, Greg. You can't win major championships unless you're prepared for them.
Mm-hmm.
And you can't prepare for them at home. You can only prepare for them by playing. And you can make an argument, PGA Tour versus LIV versus European Tour, whatever it is, but you've got to play tournament golf. And Tiger doesn't do that. Tiger's playing in the Masters, having played one round in 6 holes at the Genesis. And now he's playing the PGA, having not played since playing at the Masters, where clearly he ran out of gas on the weekend. So is he 100% healthy? I don't think he's ever going to be 100% healthy, and that's the reason I can't stand saying it, and I can't stand even thinking it, because you never know with this guy because he's just so great. But I just don't see him over 4 days competing against the best players on the best courses that are set up the most difficult. That's a tall task. If he wanted to win another time, Boy, wouldn't it be great to see him at Waialae at Stony Open or
Sure.
the American Express in the California desert? He's playing the most difficult courses that are set up in the most difficult fashion against the best players in the world when the pressure is at its height. That's a very difficult task.
Because he understands the payoff if he wins that event as
Oh,
opposed to
man.
winning at Sony. It's like, okay.
Correct.
But
Greg, think about this. What's more attainable to Tiger? Now, forget Tiger in his mind, because he thinks he can still win, and that's one of the reasons that makes him so great. But Greg, what's at this stage of his career? He's tied with Sam Snead at 82 wins for the most, but he's 3 behind Jack for majors. He's not winning 3 majors.
No.
All right? 3 majors is a Hall of Fame career. There's not a person who's won 3 majors in golf who's not already in the Hall of Fame or going into the Hall of Fame. So, if you think about it, wouldn't you try to get that 83rd win?
I think so. I didn't know he was tied with him. I think
he's
I would.
tied with Sam Snead for the most wins in the history of the game.
Oh, gosh, you got to get another one. You're right.
Go try to get another one.
Go play with Charlie in New Orleans.
Do something. Seriously, just go try to get that last win. But he wants that last win to be at a major, which is totally understandable. But is it feasible? I don't know.
All right, so Wyndham Clark broke through last year in the PGA. Is there a guy who's going to break through this year? Who do you got? Who do you like? Give us a little analysis of the field and what you think will happen.
One thing, you don't make many mistakes, Greg, by any means. I'm not trying to correct you, but Wyndham actually broke through the U.S. Open.
U.S. Open, sorry. Yeah. My bad.
No, that's
bad.
okay.
My
I
bad.
just wanted to make sure.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course. Koepka won the PGA last year. Coming off of Liv, man, that was a huge, huge thing because it gave Liv some life, whereas Liv had no life without that win.
Mm-hmm.
So, or very little life. Look, I think Koepka will play well. He has this PGA Championship mojo going. It's nuts. He plays in these big events well. He did not play well at the Masters, though.
He did not.
But I do think a PGA is better. By the way, he just won a couple of weeks ago.
Right.
So I think that bodes well for Brooks. It's impossible to count Scotty out. He's just too good a ball striker. If the ball striking is there, which it always is, then all he needs to do is have the putter cooperate a little, just a little. It doesn't need to get hot. Just needs to put it in the microwave and warm it up. And he'll be there over the weekend with a chance. I think Rory, coming off that win, and also knowing he's a horses for courses kind of guy, even though he's won everywhere, and he's got a gajillion wins, he loves certain courses. He loves that course last week at Quail Hollow. By the way, the PGA next year at Quail Hollow. Rory's won 4 times at the Wells Fargo Championship at Quail Hollow. Last time the PGA was held at Valhalla in Louisville, McIlroy was a winner. The last time he won a major championship. In August of 2014 at Valhalla, he won the PGA holding off Ricky Fowler and Phil Mickelson. So I think those guys will play well. But I also think that at 18-1, man, I love Xander Schauffele this week. That's a heck of a price for a guy like him. And the PGA feels like it's the kind of event that's going to have a breakthrough win, a breakthrough major. It usually doesn't happen. You said Wyndham Clark at the U.S. Open, but a lot of times it happens at the PGA. And I think Xander Schauffele is a guy to look after this week.
Yeah, I just wonder how he bounces back from what happened to him Sunday in Charlotte.
Tough.
All right, final thing for you. I mean, every time I hear something about PGA, PIF, all that jazz, it seems to be going the other way from coming together. Are you hearing anything? Because I know the one guy just stepped down that was involved in, I guess, the PIF thing. I don't know. It's so confusing to me. Are we getting any closer to the different tours coming together, or are we getting further apart?
I don't think they're getting further apart, but they are not even a step closer. And that's why Jimmy Dunn resigned.
Right, Jimmy Dunn.
Jimmy Dunn had absolutely no interest in going rogue. He wanted to get together and put aside past differences and get the sport back on track as far as one track and not two. But Jimmy was basically sidelined. He was kind of tabled. The players now run the tour. Now, unlike the team sports that we all follow in America, there's no union on the PGA Tour, and the PGA Tour players own the tour, whereas in the NFL, the NBA, Major League Baseball, and the NHL, the players don't own the league, the owners do. In this sport, it's the opposite. And now, all of a sudden, for the first time, the players have all the leverage,
Mm-hmm.
and they're using it. Whether that's good or bad, Greg, you and I will have to wait and see how it all plays out. But Jimmy Dunn did not think it was good, and he stepped aside.
He's the best in the business. He's Steve Sands, the Golf Channel on NBC. It's the PGA Championship starting Thursday in Louisville. As always, Steve, thank you, my friend.
My pleasure, Greg. Be good, bud.
Take care. Love having Steve on, breaking down the Masters, breaking down the U.S. Open, the PGA Championship, the Open Championship, all things golf-related. We can't thank him enough for being on our show. When we come back, final segment, we got some NBA news, a little bit of Grizzlies news as well to wrap it up before we hand things off to Wolo and friends here on Sports 56. You're tuned in to Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Join the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin, for Wolo and Friends. Weekday mornings from 10 to 11 here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
As the seasons change, so does the need for reliable home comfort. It's time to turn to the experts with Choates, where your family's comfort is our top priority. Right now, Choates is making it easier than ever to upgrade your home's climate control with our exceptional Carrier systems. There's never been a better time to enhance your comfort. Select from incredibly low monthly payments, 36 months no interest financing, or choose our $1,650 Cool Cash rebate instead and lower the upfront cost on select Carrier systems. It's not just savings, it's cool cash in your pocket. Low monthly payments, no interest financing, or cool cash rebates? Whatever you choose, you're choosing quality, reliability, and the trusted service of Choates. Call us today at 347-8086 or visit ChoatesHVAC.com to learn more about these incredible savings. But hurry, these deals are as fleeting as a cool breeze on a hot day. Choates, let our family serve your family.
It's time to get to Gossett Kia on the Pike so Bobby J can put you in your new Kia today. Want summer fun and 41 MPG? We Gossett with 2024 Kia Forte LXS. $199 a month, $34.99 due at signing. How about 282 miles of EPA estimated range with new 2023 Kia EV6 Win? $249 a month. Get extra room and extra fun with 2024 Kia Telluride LX. $357 a month, both $39.99 due at signing. All 24-month lease plus 0% APR for 48 months. Available on the all-new Kia EV9. And peace of mind with Kia's 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. So hurry to Gossett Kia, 1900 Covington Pike. Online, KiaCovingtonPike.com.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
Include all rebates and incentives. Price excludes $695 PF. Lease includes PF $695, $650 acquisition fee, EV6 P5610964, MSRP $50,200, Telluride RG $510,849, MSRP $38,305, Forte LXS RE78169, MSRP $21,820. Must finance through Hyundai. Excludes tax, title, and license. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 5/31/2024 with approved credit. Dealer stock only.
Cashback is not available on gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin.
Billy, your gas light's on. We need to stop and fill up.
No way, Jen. Gas around here is too expensive. We can make it a little further.
Billy, listen to your big sister. You don't need to drive all over searching for the lowest gas prices. Do what I do and use Upside.
Upside?
Do you live under a rock, Billy? Upside is the hottest cashback app out there. It's free to download, and you get real cash back for every gallon of gas you buy. I use it all the time, and I've already made around $200.
You can make that kind of cash back just for buying the gas you have to buy anyway?
Yes, I'm looking at the Upside app now, and there's a gas station at the next exit offering 25 cents per gallon cash back.
Okay, I'm stopping to download Upside and fill up my tank. Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code KIND to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, to PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code KIND for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code KIND for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
Brian Elder's Roofing Solutions.
It's silly season in the life of your roof. I'm Brian Elder, 867-0303. The weather can be unpredictable, and I'm ready to get more life out of your roof with our award-winning Owens Corning repair team. We're the repair guys the other repair guys call when they can't find the problem. Leaks become black mold when ignored. That's why when you call me, I start my inspection in the attic. Is it time for a beautiful new roof? 867-0303. I'll measure your roof from outer space and get you an estimate right over the phone. The best warranty in the business, including a warranty against ice dams. The only roofer in Memphis to offer a warranty against water intrusion due to snow buildup. Ask about military and first responder discounts. 901-867-0303 or BrianElderRoofing.com.
Call 867-0303. Brian Elder's Roofing Solutions.
Looking for a new show to dive into? Well, go to Hulu and see what's new, because Hulu has new stuff all the time, like the full season of FX's epic limited series Shogun, FX's new international spy thriller The Veil, starring Emmy and Golden Globe winner Elizabeth Moss, and don't miss the all-new crime series Under the Bridge, inspired by shocking true events and starring Riley Keough and Lily Gladstone. It's all new and it's streaming right now on Hulu.
Get ready, because the Gossett Mitsubishi Motors Summer Sales Event is on, and now is the best time to buy. You want 43 MPG Highway? We Gossett in 2024 Mitsubishi Mirage, $18,960 or $279 a month. 2024 Mitsubishi Outlander Sport. We Gossett, $27,350 or $399 per month. And your summer adventure starts with 2024 Mitsubishi Outlander SE. We Gossett, $29,865 or $449 a month. Plus, every Gossett Mitsubishi comes with Mitsubishi's 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. That's Gossett Mitsubishi, 1870 Covington Pike, online 24/7 at memphismitsubishi.com.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
Mirage RHFO 9083, MSRP 19460. Sport RUO 110 764, MSRP 28070. Outlander RZO 53896, MSRP 30895. PF 695, acquisition fee 595, 15 cents excess mileage, excludes tax, title, and license. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid to end of the month with approved credit dealer stock only.
Now back to Sports 56 Mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour brought to you by Jenkins Floors and More. Here once again are Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Welcome back, everybody. 9:50 the time. Final segment here on Sports 56 Mornings. I want to thank all our great guests today. We've been able to bring you all those guests. Unfortunately, we haven't been able to get to many of your texts. In fact, any of your texts today, unfortunately, in calls. So apologies for that. We've had some technical issues, but we have muddled through, and hopefully you've enjoyed all these great interviews that we've had. All right, so I wanted to end talking some NBA. First of all, Zach Lowe, who covers the NBA for ESPN, saying something that I don't think is any surprise, because Zach Kleiman mentioned this in the exit interviews. He said, and this is before the Grizzlies knew where they would pick, that everything is on the table when it comes to maximizing the asset of this pick. So a trade certainly would not be out of the question. Well, Zach Lowe reporting this morning that the Grizzlies will shop the number 9 overall pick in trade talks for a win-now player. Now, does that mean that they won't take and use the 9 pick on a rookie? No, I guess it would depend on what would be available. But I like what Zach Lowe is saying via the Grizzlies and his sources, because I think that's what they have to do now. We've talked window so many times. Window. They have a long window. That window's wide open. Well, not necessarily. First of all, there's no guarantees that the Grizzlies return to the form that netted them the number 2 Western Conference spot for 2 straight years before this epic disaster this past season. There's no guarantees, but you feel pretty good that with the players you have, if they stay healthy, that you can be in that mix. Now, some teams have certainly jumped in front of you, but there's no reason why you can't jump back in front of them. And so it is critical for the Grizzlies, in my opinion, to get that win-now player. And I think when Zach Lowe says what he said, the reference is a big. That win-it-now player is a big, because they have guard play. They have some shooting. Again, if Kennard comes back, certainly. If he doesn't, a little suspect. But certainly the big is what they need. They need somebody to help Jackson. They need somebody aside from Brandon Clark, more than likely coming off the bench. And to get a veteran player that doesn't break the bank for you, I think is pivotal. So I'm all for that. I am absolutely all for that. Now, again, it doesn't necessarily mean that you deal the ninth, but that is an asset now that you can use in a trade package. I don't expect anything to happen before draft night. Could it? Certainly. But unless there's not a player that they really have zeroed in on, then that trade could happen before draft night. In other words, I'm thinking, well, Donovan Clingan, I like him as a big. I think he's really good. It's what they need. Set screens, block shots, rebound the basketball. Can score a little bit, but doesn't have to be the scorer. And the Grizzlies don't need a big who can score because they have guys who can score. So let's say Clingan was the guy they looked at, and they have him zeroed in on. And I'm just making this up. I have no idea which direction they would go in. Then you would have to follow what's going on in front of you in the draft because who knows, maybe he falls to 9. Or maybe he's sitting there on the board when they come to 7th or 8th and you can trade up a little bit to get him. But if you don't have that guy or any other guy that you are just going gaga over, then why wouldn't you use that as an asset to trade and get the guy you need, which again has got to be a big. It has to be a big. So I think there are so many options for the Grizzlies. It's going to be exciting, intriguing, entertaining. I can't wait to see what ends up transpiring. But I think we all know after you lose to Steven Adams, you have to find a replacement that is similar to Steven Adams. You need that hard work, that guy who's going to go ahead and do all the dirty work to help your team prosper. And that I hope they can find, whether it's via free agency, a trade, or maybe even the draft. But more than likely, it won't come right away from the draft because these kids are making the transition, which is hard, from collegiate sports or the G League to the NBA. Shams reporting that J.J. Redick, James Borrego, and Sam Cassell have emerged as the initial leading head coach targets for the Lakers. Is this according to LeBron James? LeBron, who attended the game last night in Cleveland, now people are talking, the buzz is maybe he ends up back in Cleveland. Goes full circle. Not quite, but ends up in the place where he led a team to an NBA title, and from his hometown area of Akron, not far from Cleveland. I still think he ends up back with the Lakers. However, I would think that it's a sign-off from LeBron, no matter which direction they go in. Because if you don't think Darvin Ham was canned because of LeBron and Anthony Davis, then you're mistaken. They were in the NBA Finals in his first year and in the playoffs in his second year. So, Borrego, okay. Sam Cassell, J.J. Redick. Eli's not here to argue this with me, but don't tell me for a second. If J.J. Redick was doing anything, even was an assistant coach on a team right now, he's not getting looked at as the head coach. He's getting looked at as the head coach because of what he says in his podcast, how he evaluates things, what he demonstrates on ESPN, doing the games. He's in the limelight. That's why. They see him, they go, this guy's intelligent. He's played the game. He knows what he's doing. Let's take a look at him. And that's exactly why they look at guys like that. You stay in the limelight. You stay in the forefront of their minds of the people who make these decisions when you're on ESPN or Fox because you're relevant. Because out of sight is out of mind. That'll do it for us today on the program. I want to thank all our great guests, Sean Coleman, Jeff Crane, Mickey Barker, Dwight Drinkard, and Steve Sands. We're back tomorrow, hopefully without any technical problems. Tomorrow, Tim Thompson, the former Melrose coach who has written a new book, he's going to join us in studio. We will talk to Doug Barron, the winner of the first major on the PGA Tour Champions last week in Birmingham over this past weekend. Doug will join us at 8:25. DeMichael Cole on the Grizzlies and the NBA at 9:05. That's all coming up tomorrow, starting bright and early at 7 a.m. Waldo and Friends on Sports 56 is coming up next, so stay tuned for that. For Eli Savoy, who returns on Thursday, Zach Boyd, who did a yeoman's job today, I'm Greg Gaston. Have a great day, everybody.
I often say they've set the bar for the way car business should be done at Homer Skelton Hyundai. You know how close that is. It's right there at Highway 78, Lamar Avenue, and Craft Road, the very first exit